Well, it looks like we're going to be seeing more Fable gameplay today. If you're watching this later, I have no idea how long it's going to take for the new Fable gameplay to show up. So if I add timestamps below, they'll be there. You can skip ahead. I might end up just doing a separate stream, because if it takes too long and we sit here for 3 or 4 hours and then it finally shows up, I will probably do a second stream where we redirect, we react, and we watch it. Now, if you're familiar with my content, you know for a while now, especially since the Fable Direct, I have been a little bit critical of how they have continued to show this game. And look, I love Haley Atwell. If you know who Peggy Carter is, you're pretty excited to see that she is the main antagonist in the Fable game. But this trailer is very, very similar to all the ones that we have seen up to now. You use somebody very recognizable or very well rendered to sort of do a character trailer, and then you show lots of simulated gameplay. When we did finally get a look at gameplay at the Xbox Developer Direct earlier this year, I said, I don't think that game's coming out this year. It doesn't even look remotely close to being ready. It did not feel like a Developer Direct. All the things they showed were very highly edited. They were quick cuts. We didn't get to see any open world gameplay other than like riding on a horse for maybe about 10 yards, and then they immediately cut the camera. I have continued to say I really hope they take their time with this and they nail it. We heard early on there were issues with the engine. People said, no, that's totally fake. But then the more you see this game, the more you think, hey, maybe that engine was giving them a little bit of trouble, because there just seems to be a general lack of push to just show us uncut gameplay. Because if everything looks as good as what they're showing us right here in this little quick montage where it's simulated, it's very cinematic, if it looks and runs that good, then great. Like, I'm there day one. I think the game shows a massive amount of promise. Their sort of vision for this game, how they talk about it, where they want to go with it, the level of choice and freedom they want to give you, an impact on the world. It all sounds great. Now, I know longtime Fable fans are not excited about some of the changes, like not having a traditional morality system and things of that nature has led them to feel a little bit disappointed. I've never been an enormous Fable fan. I remember playing Fable 3 way back in the day, and was always wished I could play it with somebody else. And so I remember enjoying the questing and the combat and the going into different places, but I don't remember being too particularly, enthused with the morality system and the choice system. That's a preference thing. So I actually think this could end up being a game that I enjoy quite a bit. But I've continued to say, let them cook, let them do a good job, and I don't think this game's coming in 2026. Well, it has been delayed into February of next year, and even that, I think, could slip, depending on what we see today, okay? So, my current, opinion of the game and everything they've shown up to now is that the game is still not quite ready to go. Everybody has said, oh, it's getting delayed because of GTA 6. Listen, I know that's a convenient excuse, and everybody's kind of running with that excuse. We'll be able to see today from the gameplay that they show just how much progress has been made since the Developer Direct about 4 months ago. 4 months is not a massive amount of time in the development world, I'm going to be honest with you, unless everything they showed in February at the Dev Direct was like super old, which would be strange, right? I know they go and they film those interviews and they do a lot of the Dev Direct stuff like months before we actually see it, so there's the possibility that what we see today is significantly newer and more polished, and I hope that is the case. And as a reminder, if you're in the live environment right now, live stream, whatever, we have no idea what time this thing is today. I've asked them twice now on Twitter. They were out there today replying to like everybody, like promoting the game, and they don't seem to be willing to give a time. Now, the way they described it, I'll pull up their Twitter right now and I'll kind of show you. The way they described it was going to be like an in-house event is what it sounded like it was going to be. Like something where they show something to like select folks, and then they were going to debut it later. So I don't know if this is going to be some big lengthy live stream deep dive, but here's what they said. They said the team is getting ready to welcome press and creators into the world of Albion. We'll be sharing a live gameplay demo showing what it means to build an extraordinary life in Fable. Your turn is coming soon. We will share the new gameplay on Wednesday, Heroes. So that's today. So they are doing things, with the press and with creators, and then they're going to let us see whatever it is this new gameplay demo is today. Now, I like that they say live gameplay demo, that to me communicates like you're just going to be in the game and moving around and doing stuff. Like, I hope that's sort of the nature of this showcase. I'm not interested in any more highly edited trailers, right? We have seen enough cinematic trailers from Fable for a lifetime. I think this is probably the most I've ever seen a game get cinematic trailers. And up till now, there was always that insistence that they were showing us gameplay, and I always kind of stuck to my guns and said, that's not gameplay. This is a common tactic with games. I don't mind it every now and again. Like, if your announcement trailer has simulated gameplay in it, that's fine. That doesn't really bother me. But if you continue to always market your game in this way, it just makes me skeptical. It makes me say, you don't have anything to show us, and I'm wondering if maybe they knew that was going to be the case. Like, hey, we delayed the game into February, we did a dev direct this year, and you just dropped another trailer during the Xbox showcase, and you didn't really show us anything other than cinematics. And cinematics are fine, but after this many trailers and a significant absence of raw, uncut gameplay, perhaps they knew that people were going to be saying, hey, we'd really like a better lengthy look at this game. We haven't really gotten that yet. Now, some fans felt like the dev direct was satisfying, or they felt like they saw enough. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but I'm hoping that the live gameplay demo that they end up showing us today ends up being a very, very good and substantive look at the game, because I do think internally their systems, the way they're thinking about the logistics of the game, that all sounds great, and I think it has the potential to be an enjoyable game. Now, long-standing fans may not agree. They may have their quibbles and their gripes, but I think like the market at large will likely enjoy maybe a little bit more of an approachable, more arcade-ish RPG, right? Not everybody wants to play a Baldur's Gate 3. Not everybody wants to play a game with deep morality systems where like every decision gives them paralysis. And I get that feels like maybe they've diluted the brand or the identity of the game if you're a long-standing fan, but I do think broader audiences will likely find something like this appealing, but that combat has to feel good. It's one of the centerpieces of the marketing. They're always showing these really cool cinematic moments, and I remember people saying, wow, this kind of really reminds me of The Witcher, and there were people that got to see early versions of the game, alphas and things like that, saying it was reminiscent of some of the vibes that you get when you're doing combat in The Witcher. So those are just kind of my initial off-the-cuff thoughts. If you guys are in the live environment on YouTube, do me a quick favor and hit the like button. Get us to 100 likes. Good morning, gangs. How are you? Ocean Blue, good morning. It was a bit much. July would be better. Good morning. Couldn't fire without people hating you. I don't know what you're talking about, Damien. Are you talking about the game? Are you talking about me? Mortal Shell 2 demo is so good. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play the Star Fox demo. My wife and I went out and went on a double date last night with friends of ours, and we had a great time. But when we got back, it was already kind of late. Put the kids to bed. We played Batman for a little bit, and then she went to bed. We went to bed, 808,000 peak Destiny 2 players across all platforms. Not bad, close to 1 million. I think people were hoping to see about 1 million concurrent yesterday. That could change over the weekend. I feel like the momentum might die out pretty quickly, though, because people are going to immediately be like, okay, time to get back to the grind, and then that thins everybody out. That doesn't mean it's not going to be a success, but it makes it harder to have that peak hit again, because once the player base kind of thins out into their normal playing routines, you're not going to be hitting, higher than that, I think. Oh, what time is the showcase? We don't know. They've simply said that it's today. That's why I just said, well, let's just do a waiting room. I've asked them twice on Twitter. They were very active today on Twitter, and I asked them twice on Twitter, like, hey, what time is this thing today? And they haven't said. I probably will end up doing an entire breakdown stream, maybe even a video about all the stuff that's now coming out. Because, there's a lot, and this is relevant to Fable because it's Xbox, right? Asha Sharma is doing an awful lot of interviews, and this just feels like in the past, where they say something to get the fans all riled up and excited, but then they start doing interviews and the reality starts to hit. There's a lot of things I want to look into. There's a lot of commentary from her that makes me think that the Helix could be getting literally scrapped. It's very clear that the exclusive push is not going to be a very strong one. It's going to be very, very infrequent, and it seems dependent upon how well the business starts to do under her watch. There is so much to do from casual to hardcore. I put 8 hours in yesterday for the first time, and I still have so much to do. No, I don't. Maybe I didn't make myself clear. I'm not saying that people won't play. I'm saying you're not going to be hitting peaks higher than yesterday because everybody will just kind of thin out into their routine of like, okay, I'll play when I get home from work. Okay, I'll play when I'm not in class. And what that does is that takes away the peak because you get to the peak because everybody's trying to get at the exact same time. So I don't know if they're going to surpass the 808,000 concurrent is kind of the point that I'm making. I do need to thank some people. Let's get the goal up on the board and get started. Jay Rain renewed at the beginning of the stream, and then Han shot first, and so did you. First gifted member of the day comes in from OD91. Thank you so much. And then make sure, guys, on YouTube, as you're coming in, that you do hit that like button. Get us to those first 100 likes. That does help. We've only been streaming for about 10 minutes, and getting that very quick in the stream does help us. If Xbox gamers don't buy these games, everything's going to PS5. I think this is the olive branch to the community, and they better not bat it away. I don't even know if that's what it is. I really don't. And she's talking about all sorts of stuff. I've got to go gather my info and my notes because she's talking about different business models. She's talking about like, $1,000 console, and it's like, but that's what the Helix was going to be, and she's talking like that's not going to work or whatever. I don't know. Steam will no longer be restocking physical gift cards at retailers due to scammers. Oh, really? They never gave a time. Yeah, no time. We're just going to be waiting. It's sometime today. If I had to guess, it's probably around noon. That would just be my guess. Maybe because it's an in-person event, they want to make sure they have ample time to like answer questions or let people ask questions or what have you, and then they will, they could potentially then push the trailer out or push the gameplay out, and maybe that's why. Maybe that's what's going on. I'm a PC gamer, so as long as they bring Xbox and PlayStation games to Steam, I'm happy. They're no longer bringing PlayStation games to Steam unless they're live service. Herman Holst said that in a town hall like a week ago. Nintendo, you need to see 5 minutes of this thumb wrestling game so you understand it. Also, Nintendo, Dustblood, beta, summer, buy. Yeah, I think it's completely fair if you're a FromSoft fan, if you've been waiting for Dustbloods, to be a little disappointed in that. I'm telling you that there is... Yeah, I don't know how well that game is going to run. I don't know how well Elden Ring's going to run. I've been trying to tell people that's got to be one of the strangest exclusive deals I think I've ever seen in my career. It is just such a mismatch. FromSoft game in Nintendo, and not only that, it's online. Like Nintendo's not known for online games. I just don't know. What's good, Hilly? It's weird they couldn't just give a time. People are busy. Again, my thought would be that the Fable gameplay showcase that they're going to do today, the reason they can't give a time is that I think they're doing something in person with the press. So they probably want to make sure that's all done and handled properly, and everybody got their questions answered or what have you, or if they're letting people record footage, and then they're going to debut their own video. Nintendo's extremely self-indulgent in their shows. The thumb war thing was dumb. I mean, they know their audience. I think there's people that are going to love games like that. I'm not saying they're going to sell like millions of copies, but I think they do the fun hokey stuff because that's kind of their audience. Thank you, Hilly, for a 10 stream streak, and thank you guys for 100 likes over there on YouTube. If you're tuning in and you're like, man, when is this Fable gameplay thing? We don't know. It is today. That's basically all we know, is that it's today. And so we're doing a waiting room. Joker Quinn with a gifted member. It's very unlike Joker Quinn to do that. He just set up a 20-bomb dunker. I don't know if anybody is wanting to take the plunge this early in the day. It'd be the first 20 bomb of the day to get us a 250, and I would owe you guys a member. What's good, Game Right? Weird one. You reckon Nintendo paid a boatload to get that game on Switch 2? There's an interview that just came out that revealed it was originally going to be a much smaller scope game for the Switch 1. So I don't know what happened. It's like, okay, so it grew and became something more significant, and now it switched to an online PvPvE. Like, and why would Nintendo pay for that if, like, let's say they did? It's so outside of their identity. Unless they really are wanting the Switch 2 to pull in lots of new people, and they think, well, what better way to do it than to go grab, an online FromSoft game, that's a pretty big audience globally, that typically plays their games on PC like our PlayStation. Countdown to sometime in the future. Yeah, I can't put a countdown out. Joker Quinn ruins his own setup. There you go. There you go, Joker Quinn. I was going to say, you having a lapse in judgment. He's like, can't be having that. I'm going to ruin my own. Yeah, like, you weren't paying attention. He's like, oh, shoot, I set it up. Yeah, that's very unlike you. From Software Experiment. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. That's on brand. Felt off. Oh, that's on brand. Yeah, for Joker Quinn. I was always a Halo lad. It's worth playing all the. Is it worth playing all the Gears games before E-Day or start from E-Day? I have a feeling that if you started with E-Day, you probably wouldn't want to go back to the old ones because they wouldn't feel very good. Like, if you played Gears of War Reloaded right now and you think it's really fun, yeah, I would go right from 1. I'd go 1 to 1, 2, 3, skip 4 and go to 5. I would do Gears 1, 2, 3 and then skip Gears 4 and go right to 5. One would feel bad. One would feel bad. I don't think one would feel bad if you just played it right now. Gears of War Reloaded felt great. I just didn't have a desire to replay it because it does feel a little dated, and you guys know me. I'm a little bit of a snob. I don't like playing a game that feels old. And skip 4, is that Halo 5? It's like Gears 4 is basically their Halo 5. Gears 4 not very good. Now there are people that didn't like Gears 5. I liked Gears 5. I thought they innovated on the combat. It didn't feel like I was always in a predictable set piece. Forgot Judgment. I don't even know where in the timeline that one lands. I've played them all. I just remember playing 4 and quitting and thinking it was boring. I was like, I've played this game before. So, if you guys are just tuning in and you're looking for the Fable gameplay showcase, it is at some point today. So, we're just doing a waiting room for whenever it shows up. We're going to watch and react. I was trying to get an answer from them on Twitter. They were very active on Twitter this morning. And I was like, hey, when is that today? And we can't seem to get an answer, which is fine. They may not know the answer. I believe they're doing some sort of an event with the press today. Well, we don't know if it's today, but that could be why that we may not get a precise time from them. So I felt personally injured watching the Gears reveal, knowing I no longer have an Xbox. Yeah, what if the showcase is at like 6 p.m.? We going all day? I mean, I can go until about dinner time. I mean, I'd like to not do that. I would like to have some time to prepare, a show for tomorrow. But we'll just kind of play it by ear. Typically, Western-based, like American-based companies, like Xbox, they like to do their stuff in the middle of the day, not late. I mean, they usually like to do stuff around like noon or 1. Been a while since I had an Xbox. I no longer have an Xbox. Simply buy a PC, pleb. That's right. Gears 4 is a must-play because they made JD an a-hole in 5 for a reason at the end. So you have to play 4 to know. Well, you could just watch a story summary of Gears 4 on YouTube. I just remember being bored, and I stopped. And then I saw a bunch of people say that 4 was like their least favorite. And then I really liked 5. I thought 5 innovated in a good way. There is parity for first party. Are you saying that maybe that's why? What are you talking about? Fable, D-Tom? What are you talking about? Blue Thunder just released some Turok gameplay if you're bored. Wait, they did? What is going on with that game's marketing? Like, they let Nintendo basically reveal that the game is coming out this year. And I'm like, what the frick is going on? That marketing for that game is bizarre. I don't think that game's coming this year. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm be real with y'all. I don't think that Turok game is making it. Number one, the calendar is too full. The calendar is way too full. When the heck are you gonna put it? You know what I mean? Does Blue Thunder have like a YouTube channel? Might have to find an excuse to get it off her in October chat. You gave your S to your sister for a PS5. Yeah, I've never wanted a second Xbox Series X, but for Gears, I would actually really like that. It would be so much more enjoyable to play Gears with Madam, and we'd each be on our own television. Like, that's how we played. I'm not sure the gameplay looks great. Oh, it's on Twitter. All right, hang on a second. Madam and I loved playing through Space Marine 2. We loved it. It was really, really fun. What's their at? Or are you saying Blue Thunder? I played Turok Origins and was really impressed with how seamless the transition between third person and first person is. Here's a look at seamless 4-player co-op in Turok Origins. First look at a T-Rex boss fight in Turok Origins with some first and third person combat, tons of abilities in co-op. All OG fans will be incredibly happy. You aren't kidding. This homie dropped like a dadgum. He dropped a lot. Maybe it is close to coming. This is kind of crazy. I'll show you guys here. Hang on. Some of these clips are like really, really fast. All right, so here he is fighting somebody. This looks very Doom adjacent, which I'm okay with. Yeah, this looks very Doom adjacent. The graphics look really, really good. Lighting looks pretty good. It's getting a little choppy. I don't know if that's Chrome or Twitter. It's so hard to know anymore. Video playback in browsers has just become a disaster. Whether I use Chrome or Firefox. Yeah, I don't know why this is getting so jittery. Let me try something. We ran into this yesterday. I'm gonna close and completely reopen Chrome. Give me 1 second. I don't know what was going on there. Let's see. That looks cool. Yeah, I want to see that T-Rex one, and I don't want it to be glitching like that. That was freaking terrible. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, it looks like it's running better now. I don't know why that happens. It's some kind of a memory caching issue or something with Chrome. It just gets angry, and restarting it seems to fix it. It'll make you think your computer's breaking. You're like, what the heck is going on? The fact that this is going to be co-op, I am so there, dude. Like, I'm so there. This is like Helldivers meets Doom with dinosaurs. Like, dude, I'm there day one. Yeah, and I do like the fact that you could play third person or first person, whatever your desire is. I actually think with the way the dinos are going to move and charge and slam the ground, I actually think I would play this third person. I like seeing my character in the space when I'm going to get charged by something like that, and it's going to like try to hit me or bite me. I like to be able to see my character for some reason. Game Riot, you might be right, brother. This might be on pace to come out this year. They haven't set a date though, right? Didn't they say fall? I think they've said fall of this year. Earth Tower Defense 4, 5, and 6 are coming to Switch 2. Hey, there you go. My son was playing one of those a little bit, and then he went right back to trying to get dubs in Fortnite. Both my kiddos are like addicted to Battle Royale. Like, my daughter got a win this last Saturday, and she was so proud of herself. And then my son got a couple of second places. Yeah, I think this looks really good. Dadgummit. Work in progress, subject to change. I just love the vibe. I really do. Well, thank you, Blue Thunder, and thank you, Game Riot, for putting that on our radar. I think that looks like an absolute vibe, bro. Like, just playing some dadgum dino killing, Doom-inspired gameplay with the boys, could be good. That could be good. People wanted an Exoprimal, and not the PvP. Did it say third or first person? Both. You can seamlessly switch between first and third person, Jamal. So, yeah. That looked good, honestly. Who's better, gaming, your daughter or your son? My daughter is better at Fortnite than him. She's a little older and has played a little bit more. I think she has more wins than him. I think he gets a little too aggressive. He picks up games way faster than her, though. Whether it's a board game or a video game, it just instantly clicks for him. He sees strategy and he sees things almost immediately. It's why I would love to get him some actual professional coaching for soccer, because he sees the field in a way that usually like a 10-year-old, like last year he was 9 playing, he sees the field in a way that usually kids don't see it. Like through passes, and he would lead his team in assists. He would be one of those players that just sees the field in that way. Not a striker, but the guy who makes the striker look good. You know what I mean? In any case, yeah, that Turok looks good. And if you guys are tuning in, we are waiting. There is a Fable gameplay showcase at some point today, and we're waiting for it. We don't know when, so hit subscribe or follow and just hang out and talk with us. We do a daily talk show like this Monday through Friday, and I do keep it safe for work. So consider, joining our community here. We do stuff on the regular. It's way too early for me to laugh this hard. I'm not sure what you're laughing at, Jamal. Third person W. Yeah, I've kind of grown to appreciate third person more, because I think it's just because I play more games where you see your character, whether it's like a melee based game or an action game, You accidentally said third or third person. Oh, third or first. Third or third. Yeah, you can switch between third and first person seamlessly in Turok. Can I get a countdown that says question mark? Yeah, but if I put a countdown, it'll have a literal countdown. So I don't think I can do them with question marks. That's not how we built the tools, Zubair. We didn't build a countdown for unknown times. That's not a thing. Make sure as you guys come in, you hit the like button, and make sure to celebrate your renewals like Dynamite just did. 23 months, that's a lot of months. Thank you guys so much. Whether you gift members or pay for your own, that is how I do this full time. So thank you guys so much for doing that. I am wearing a new Into the AM shirt. This was like one of their vintage shirts. So it's got like the soft, like almost like worn look to it. So be sure to use my shirt command or go to intotheam.com/Lono or use code Lono whenever you guys go over there and shop. Just do a text box. Poor planning. I know, we really should have planned to have a timer that you could put question marks into, what a failure on our part. Just put an infinite sign. We're going to be here for forever. That's what it is. That reminds me of a time we got stuck in a closet when we were growing up as kids. We were playing hide and seek or something, and we all hid in this closet, and the doorknob came off, and my sister, just got so scared. She cried. She's like, we're going to be in here forever. That's what that makes me think of. We're going to be here for forever. So, yeah, that made me think of that. Did you guys see Capcom is responding to criticism of Onimusha's PS5 demo, and they say the full game is going to be tougher? People, I guess, were complaining that it was too easy. I was assuming, is there a way to turn the difficulty up or down if people want it to be harder? Can they not turn it up? I don't think I remember what I did. I thought I just played it on default settings for all of that. Riddler trophy box. In the multiverse, the Fable showcase is happening and not happening right now simultaneously. That's right. The boss wasn't easy. The mobs were trash. I thought that this is why I think people completely misfired on Onimusha when they said it was too easy. I assumed all those mobs were a bit brain dead because they were teaching you all of the mechanics. It's a freaking tutorial. They're like, do this to deflect arrows and do this to sneak up and do... I just assumed that's why they were a little bit easier and a little bit of dum-dums. I mean, after playing the boss, I assumed, oh yeah, now I'm going to go into the next area and it's going to be go time. It's going to be tough. If they're saying, they're responding to the criticism and saying it'll be tougher. So I don't know. Maybe people were just real quick to judge it and weren't thinking critically. And maybe I'm being a little too generous. I don't know, but it was a tutorial. Those Onimusha scrubs need to learn how the Souls people do it. tie both hands behind your back and blindfold yourself and then play with your feet. Yeah, why don't you just play on a dance pad like that one pretty girl does on Twitch? You know what I'm saying? She's beating games with her mind and dancing. So if you aren't doing that, then you're not hardcore. Seemed like a tutorial mobs to me. It totally felt like tutorial mobs. Like, yeah, they're kind of playing dumb and they're kind of free because you're learning how to do mechanics. Like, it's not meant to be like, welcome to Onimusha, boom, and you're like, oh, I was trying to figure out how to do that move you just taught me. Hashtag we want Destiny 3. Yeah, we know. We did our part yesterday, and now we're back to our regularly scheduled programming covering the rest of the gaming world. Maybe they think you put out an easy demo and you get all the casuals. Oh, I definitely could see that being a thing. Yo, what's good, Wally? Thanks for following me. I could definitely see that being a thing. Like, a ton of people are going to play that, and they're going to be like, oh, man, I'm going to buy this game because it was, because the tutorial was so easy and it was so fun. That totally could happen, There could be a pretty significant amount of people that buy that game, and they're like, yo, this is way harder than I thought it was going to be, That could certainly happen. It wouldn't be the first time that people bought a game thinking it was going to be easy and then it kicked their teeth in. You know what I mean? But it'll be interesting. How's everybody doing? We're doing great, man. Thank you for being here. Does Onimusha have a story I need to look into, or can I start with this game? You can start with this game. I believe this is a standalone. I don't think you need to play the others. Like the trailers and the story trailers I've seen for it, it's all pretty straightforward. You've got powers and you're going to stop stuff. You're going to go fight stuff. You know what I mean? That's basically all I need to know. Oh, cool. I've got a sword and some powers and there's bad stuff to stop. Cool, man. You just point me in the right direction. I'll go fight. That's about all I need. Onimusha's never been a punishing game. Well, I don't necessarily think people are asking it to be punishing. I think Capcom's responding to the idea that, like, the enemies felt like they were pushovers. It was a tutorial. So, of course, again, I think people are misfiring. I don't, because Capcom's not saying, oh, it'll be like a Souls. They're just saying, oh, the game will be tougher than that. It's not going to be free. You're not going to be walking into, it's not going to be you just walk into an area and freely kill them. It's like, do you guys remember, I backed out because we were having that problem with my HDR setting. So I backed out of the game, went back in. I had to replay an area. So I already knew all the tutorial stuff. So I just started running at the enemies and killing them. And I was like, oh, these guys are really free. You can just rush them. You know what I mean? I was like, these guys are really, really easy. That's possibly why people feel like it, it was just too easy. But again, it was a tutorial. No horns or flies, not my Fable. Yeah, Eater of All, I definitely think that a lot of the Fable loyal are really, really unhappy with the fact that they've kind of departed from some of the classic Fable settings or classic Fable systems. One being, you don't have a perpetual morality system in this Fable, right? You don't. So what happens is each town you sort of start fresh in. So you'll go into a town and you could be super nice to these people and they won't know that the town that you just came from, you were a jerk and you were evicting people from their homes and stuff. Like, they didn't, this was their reasoning, they didn't want you to, they wanted every town to basically be like, you kind of can start over. And there are people that aren't happy about that. They wanted to basically like, no, I'm running demon time, dude. I'm bad. I'm a bad person in the game. I want everybody to know that I'm bad. So I'm not sure if they've received that feedback and they will make some sort of change. Like if you want a more persistent morality system, because I think a lot of people were being critical. Like when they were reading and listening to the interviews, it did sound like, yes, this is a pretty big departure from what a lot of people liked about Fable. I've never been in favor or against morality systems, but I don't really go out of my way to be like, oh, dude, I really want a perpetual, morality system. So when I cuss out the old man in the town tavern, 8 hours later, his son won't give me a quest because I was mean to his dad. Like, I've never really gone out of my way for systems like that. I think they're cool, but I've never been like, oh, I really want a game like that. I feel like a lot of games that are like, oh, your decisions have consequences. For the longest time, I feel like a lot of those decisions have been inconsequential. So to play a game where they truly are consequential, I don't know if I would really care. It doesn't. I haven't developed it as a desire. You know what I mean? Like, you play games with certain things, and it fosters the desire in you. You're like, oh, I'd like more games like this. Since I've never really played a game with what I would consider to be a very good or well-built morality system where there are genuine consequences for your actions, because I've never really played one, I just never developed the desire to be like, oh, dude, I want my games to be like that. Yo, what's good, Ginger? Xbox CEO says radically different business models could arrive for consoles in 2026. She's saying something's coming later this year. I don't know. Are they going to be leasing consoles or something, renting consoles? I don't know. I really don't know what she's talking about. She's talking about this year they're going to be introducing some things. It also sounds like the way she's talking, like Helix could be on the chopping block. Like Helix is just not going to work with their new direction. I mean, maybe they'll continue to call it that, but it'll take a completely different shape with respect to, like, price and functionality and, like, what it aims to offer. If you guys are tuning in, we are waiting for a Fable gameplay showcase that is supposed to be happening sometime today. We do not have a time. As soon as it's ready, we're going to watch it with y'all. Have you beaten the first Wolong? No, I didn't like it. It's a pretty challenging game fighting the big boar. He's crazy. I played the Wolong demo and didn't like it. I couldn't figure out why parries were working and not working. It felt, this is on me. I'm not being critical of the game. I just felt like I was too slow. There were times where I'm like, oh, I got the parry. And then other times where I'm like, I feel like I did the same thing and I didn't get the parry. It felt really inconsistent. I just chalked it up to, like, these games, I don't speak their language. I'm too slow. Like, people have said, like, Neo games are pretty fast, pretty punishing, right? Neo 3 looked really good, and people really liked it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to hang. I'm not going to be able to hang. And Neo 3 was enormous. So the Wolong 2 trailer didn't do anything for me. They need to understand that pulling a Taco Bell doesn't make a huge difference. Reuse the same ingredients to make a new menu entry when it's all the same. Yeah, listen, this very much feels like a lot of the times when Phil Spencer would come out and say something, to like, he'd like say things to give the fans like assurance, and he'd calm everybody down. And then they'd be doing interviews later, and you're like, this sounds very different than what you just said. And I think that's happening now. Asha Sharma's like going around doing interviews, and the way she's talking about things, it's like, yeah, this is not what the fans are hoping. You know, you're talking about exclusives in a very different way when you're doing these interviews. It's like, yeah, we did that. You know, it's designed to make people feel like there's a reason to stay with Xbox, and we might try it in the future, you know. And it's like, well, wait a minute. This feels very, very soft on the commitment side of things comparatively, compared to what, you know, what a lot of people were probably hoping for. I literally don't think much is changing. Other than I think their hardware plans are probably changing. That's good. People need a second chance. Nintendo shares fall as Direct disappoints. I have a hard time believing that that's why. How did that disappoint? Kingdom Hearts 4 and Zelda? I don't know what. I thought it was great. I mean, I don't watch a Nintendo Direct for more than they gave me. They gave me two really big announcements. One that is really all that matters to me is Zelda. I don't buy a Switch, and I don't watch a Direct for more than they gave me. I usually expect like one or two games to really excite me. Matt said differently on IGN. I don't know what you're talking about. Said differently than what? Real radical change takes 5 to 7 years. Changing up a business model isn't radical. It's business BS to try to get more with what you have. The console is dead, guys. Had a bad week. I think Helix hardware-wise will be the same. The contract with AMD is signed. However, I think Helix will have a closed OS as opposed to proper Windows. This will let them subsidize it. You got to explain that to me. How, number one, what do you mean closed OS without proper Windows? And I want you to explain to me how that will help them to subsidize it. No one's going to want it if it's not Windows. Like, if they can't use it like a PC, so many people are going to say no thank you. Takashi, I don't know who that is, posted a tweet about the share price dropping after the Direct. Okay. Nintendo stock last 5 days. No. It dropped on the 9th. It dropped well before that. I don't know who you're watching or who you're listening to, but if this is Nintendo's stock value, right? This is Tuesday the 9th. Today's the 10th. I'm sorry. I was thinking it was the 11th. I thought this happened before. No, you're right. It did drop. It dropped $1. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why that Direct would have had that kind of an effect on their stock. I really don't. I was thinking today was the 11th. I was like, that was 2 days ago when the stock drops. No, it did. It dropped yesterday. You're correct. But it was only $1. I thought the Direct was fine. Shareholders might have been looking for something different. I really don't know. Yo, what's good, Dr. Pim? Everyone, Nintendo Direct was cooking. Glad the other IPs got their time to shine. Sad some thought it was an L because of no new Mario. Thank you for 40 months. I mean, maybe that's why. Like, maybe shareholders were, like, holding out for, like, a new Mario or something, and they didn't get one. I would have assumed Kingdom Hearts 4 and Zelda was a bit of a win. I don't know. What time was the Direct? At 10 in the morning? Did it drop before that? Or did it drop after that? No, it literally dropped as the showcase started. From 10 o'clock to 10:30, it started dropping. So I don't know. I don't know why. It wasn't very strong until the end. So maybe, I don't know, maybe a bunch of shareholders, got real gun shy and dumped because they were like, yeah, this is weak. Because it did not start very strong. Guys, if you're tuning in for the Fable gameplay showcase, we have no idea when it debuts today. So Derek Strickland says, I hate to say this, but it might be time for Xbox to chill with high-level communications for a bit. There's been a lot of info come out, a lot of sound bites, and a lot of it's negative. Remember, rivals are watching too. Here's the thing you have to understand. They have always talked too much, and that doesn't seem to have changed. I don't know. Matthew Ball retweeted Tim Dog. What the frick is going on? Tim Dog says, have about 8 comments about Asha exclusive comments. She stepped on a rake. They have a small window here. She has to understand gamers watch her like a hawk. Please only let Matthew Ball talk. Put Asha in training. I get annoyed when I field the calls for their mix-ups, to be honest. I do it for the community and for the love of it, but they have to understand these things. Sony says nothing, and it works. Matthew Ball literally retweeted this. Now, I don't know if Matthew Ball retweeted that by mistake. Did he just see his name and did he accidentally retweet that? Let me go to his Twitter timeline here. Yeah, he undid the retweet. He might have retweeted that by mistake. I mean, he could have literally just been scrolling through his notifications and he accidentally retweeted that. I don't know if he's out here openly. I don't know if he's out here like openly retweeting something that says like Asha should stop talking. That would be, a very risky thing to do in his position. Yeah, the showcase doesn't have a start time. Yeah, we don't know. Analyst critiques. All right, hang on, Fuzzy. What were they critiquing? Was it the lack of a Mario? Because Mario is a big name in their portfolio, and he's been a little absent. The lack of a mainline 3D Mario for this year's holiday shopping season is commercially meaningful, Jeffries, analyst, wrote in a client note. So it does seem like shareholders were sort of sitting waiting for a new Mario. Rainwaters, thank you so much for 16 months over there on Purple. That's a lot of months. Thanks for using your Prime. If you guys pay for Amazon Prime, you can support me every month with a Prime on Purple. It said Matthew Ball hat reposted. Yeah, somebody screenshot it that English isn't their first language, I'm assuming. Looked fake. No, I don't think this is fake. This is just somebody's screenshot from another language. Homie, this looks real. I don't think this is photoshopped. I think he either retweeted it by mistake or he retweeted it and then second guessed himself, because I don't know like what one stood or STD. I don't know. We know what that stands for, but that's not what it stands for there. And then down here we have 1.142. So it's German. Yeah, somebody screenshot this and they're on a German Twitter account. So you think somebody had the presence of mind to fake a screenshot in German? I don't believe that. Dynamite with a double dip. Thank you so much for using your Prime over here on Purple. We're at 235. We're exactly 15 members away from me owing you guys another member. If you're just tuning in for the Fable gameplay showcase, we're doing a waiting room because we don't know when it's going to show up. They said it will be today. They said it will be a live demo of gameplay. And so I'm hoping it's just somebody playing through the game. I've been wanting uncut gameplay of Fable for a while. We didn't get it in the Dev Direct, and we did not get it in the showcase. Asha's going to write checks that she can't cash. I mean, listen, this is a Fable stream. It's relevant to the Xbox situation. I've told you guys for a long time, do not take what they say at face value and go cash it. Just don't do it. They are the kings of saying what is necessary in the moment, and then when the dust settles, you get the full picture. You know what I mean? You are such a dork, man. Thank you? I don't understand. What do you think that's an insult? Guy doing YouTube talk show about video games. You're a dork. You're a dork, man. Oh. You ruined my day. What an insult. Anyway. Good morning. First time here. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for being here. I've said that for a while. Like if you take what they say in these moments of like corpo speak and you go and try and cash that check, they're real good at just like, oh, this is what needs to be said. This will get people excited, and they say it. Think of it from this perspective. Xbox says things because of the impact it will have on the public. They don't say it to communicate. Do you see the difference? You don't have any info on Fable or the stream, so you're just content farming? You are slop? What? I don't have any info? I mean, I know you got timed out because you're in here being full on, dum-dum on a Wednesday. Brother, right here, the official Fable account said there will be a live gameplay demo or a new gameplay on Wednesday. It's today. They announced this. So, I don't know. It's weird to be so uninformed and yet so confident. Man, oh man, you're definitely an American. That's America right there. I don't know nothing, and I'm really angry. Anyways, Jiminy Christmas. I'm an American, by the way. It's one of our favorite pastimes. It's one of our favorite pastimes. What were we even saying? Oh, yeah. So, uncalled for, LOL. Come on. If you can't laugh at us, we all live here. We all have that uncle who reposts weird things on Facebook. If you take the things that Xbox say when they're just saying it's to get them, like they're trying to get an impact. They're not trying to give you information. You understand? Like, when Asha Sharma's been saying the things that she's been saying to the audience, she's trying to stir you up. She's not trying to communicate clearly. That's why when she says, like, clarity is kindness, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, but you guys aren't being clear. You're like, it's really important for the return of Xbox for us to have console exclusives. And then you do an interview and you're like, yeah, we'll try to do more, if the business gets where we want it. Like whatever phrasing she used. It's just like the stuff that Phil used to do. He would say something, everybody's like, confetti, yay, thank you, Phil. And then he would sit down in an interview and he's like, well, nothing's off the table. Like, there are no red lines. It's basically a part of the brand at this point. It's basically a part of the brand. Are you going to buy in to the pomp and the circumstance and the fireworks, or are you going to wait for the dust to settle and you're going to watch the interviews? Because every time you get the real info in the interviews, they actually shoot straight in those interviews. It's like, and they shoot so straight in those interviews, there's questions they can't even answer. Chris Dring is like, okay, well, and they're so all over the place on exclusivity. I need to do an entire video about how it's just all drenched in contradiction. What's good, feed? And all it's doing is confusing people. They literally talk about how, like, live service games are going to be multiplat. Gears of War is a live service game. It's got seasons, it's got season passes, it's got PvP, it's got that horde mode, and it's a console exclusive. And then they're like, yeah, games that were already announced multiplat will continue to be multiplat. And then they announce a bunch of brand new games that are multiplat. And when Chris Dring asks Matt Ball about it, he's like, no comment. And then when Asha Sharma gets asked about it, she says, oh yeah, we'll try to do more in the future. Like, it's the softest commitment ever. I went and listened to that interview today. I wanted to hear how she said it. The commitment to exclusives going forward is so soft. It is super, super soft. It's like when I tell my kids maybe. My son now knows, he's like, maybe. He's like, you might as well just say no. And I'm like, okay, I'll just start saying no then. But it's like telling your kids maybe. They're like, oh, can we go to this, do all this on Saturday? And you're like, I don't know, maybe. That's about as strong as the commitment is. It's a maybe from a tired dad. Like, maybe, I don't know, dude. I'm just going to want to sit on the couch on Saturday. Good morning, God bless you. What's good? Gears being exclusive is not a big deal for anyone. It's literally a series that's always been exclusive. A flop of a remake going to PS5 means nothing. I don't even care about it not being on PlayStation. The only thing I'm a little bit bummed about is it would have been easier for my wife and I to play co-op because I already have multiple PlayStations. I don't have multiple Xboxes. $2 super chat from Dr. Pimp. Thank you so much. I prefer to play co-op on my own screen and not split screen. That's the only thing I'm disappointed in. It's like, I'm going to be able to play the game. That's no worries. But to me, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Why, like, Senua being a console exclusive and then like Clockwork Revolution being a console exclusive would have made more sense. Gears is literally going to have an ongoing content model and you limited the reach of the game. They're not even applying the rigor of their own verbiage on their decision making. A live service game will be multiplat. Gears of War E-Day is a live service game. It's going to have ongoing multiplayer content and seasons. What are we doing? Like, again, Nobody knows which way's up at that company. I'm telling you, it's everything you see just feels so reactionary. It just feels immensely reactionary. Somebody's asking, when are we going to get the Fable gameplay today? If you're tuning in for the Fable gameplay showcase, we do not know what time it is. My guess is around noon, so in like 2 hours. It seems confused and directionless because it's confused and directionless. We are in another transition period. That's exactly right. That's why I've encouraged people, celebrate, but pump the brakes. Do not don't think that this is oh yeah, everything's coming back. We're going back to the greats. I'm telling you, celebrate with caution. What are we waiting on? There's going to be a Fable gameplay showcase today. You are well within your right to celebrate. I think it was a great showcase. I think it's a great win. I think the Xbox brand is looking better now than it has in a while. But I'm telling you, be cautious with these guys. This is all Microsoft textbook, public manipulation. I said this in the lead up to the showcase, and people were like, yeah, you're being a hater, you're being negative. I'm like, no. I've covered this brand for a very, very long time. I've learned how I spot their zigs and their zags before they even make them, it feels like sometimes. I'm like, I know exactly what you're doing. And I'm not trying to be arrogant in saying that. I know that sounds that way. People were leaving some comments because Colin Moriarty talks in similar ways. But it's like, it's hard not to say this when you're constantly making predictions and you're saying things. And then like within the day of saying them, they ring true. I kept telling people, I think they made this move with Gears and Clockwork to keep people on Xbox. And then the interview with Matt Ball, he literally says that. It's like he's literally saying like that this is my interpretation of his comments, that the primary reason they're doing this is to keep people on Xbox. It's not to get people to come buy Xboxes or to switch teams. It's we don't want people to leave. That's what it is. We want to honor your commitments and give you reasons to stay is basically what he said. Lono speaks Microsoft and Bungie. I seemingly have the decoder ring for Bungie and for Microsoft. PlayStation, I don't. I've never have a freaking clue what PlayStation's going to do. I don't. But when Microsoft talks and when Microsoft talks and when Bungie talks, I literally can decrypt, I can decode it very quickly. So within the realm of this situation, I think you're well within your right. You are well within your right to be excited and to celebrate with caution. A $5 super chat from Armani Coleman. I can't wait for Assassin's Creed Black Flag in 28 days. I'm going to be exploring so much. I'm going to be doing kicks and parkour. Makes sense seeing as Bungie learned to be the way they are from Microsoft. Maybe it's because, I don't know. It's possible too. I've been in so many just horrible corporate America settings with horrible managers and horrible regional managers. Maybe I just learned in one of the worst places to learn, like a level of skepticism and feeling like executives are see-through. You know what I mean? Like I've been in some of the worst corporate environments. I just have. And if you're wrong, will you admit you were wrong? I admit I'm wrong all the time. What are you talking about? I admit I'm wrong all of the time. In this situation, I don't know what there is to be wrong about. They're literally saying these things. What is there for me to be wrong about? Asha Sharma's commitment to exclusives beyond what they just did is weak. Now, that's my opinion. I'm not saying that they're never going to do it again. I'm saying her commitment to exclusives is weak. It's like, yeah, we'll try more. You'll try more if things improve? Adam King, thank you for 26 months. Case by Case is really the friends we made along the way. Keep being you, kiddo. Thank you so much, Adam, for the renewal. I appreciate it. Like, I'm just voicing my opinion. I've not once said, oh, this will definitively happen. I'm saying This is the pattern with Microsoft. They say the big thing that gets everybody excited, but then the dust settles and they do interviews and you're like, yeah, this is not what everybody thinks it is. This is not what everybody thinks it is. Matthew Ball looked uncomfortable on the talk of about the topic of exclusivity. Yeah, because they're not going to commit to a reversal on their stance on exclusivity. They simply can't. Number one, they've said too much, they've moved too much, they've bought too much, and they've given way too many assurances to the shareholders that this is where they're going. And the money they've made on games, can you imagine making how much money they've made on like Forza and other games coming to PlayStation, going to the shareholders and saying, yeah, all property is exclusive going forward? I mean, there are faster ways to get fired. Just going to the office and just start cussing everybody out. Here's the thing. I'm trying to hold both things in my hands. Like, you can celebrate and be excited, but you got to remember the history with this company. This is the company that said just 4 games. This is the company that said Starfield was not a timed exclusive. Can you please read my last? What are you talking about? What are the changes for the Helix? She's talking like an expensive console's a non-starter in the market. Then how does the Helix even come to the market? A $5 super chat from Armani Coleman. I was saying Crimson Desert can add a lot in the future. New combat. This is just the beginning. That's why a good game. I like it. Thanks for the super chat. I'm not gonna switch subjects. I'm glad you're having fun with the game though. Dring pointed out the inconsistency of only live service games will go by bringing attention to why Senua, a new single-player game, is so coming to PlayStation, among other things. It's not consistent. Your reasoning for what you're saying is showing how you have no idea about production, understanding markets, or how retail actually works. What? Can you go ahead and educate us all then? Why? What are we wrong? What am I wrong about in my analysis of her comments? You're speaking like super platitudinous. You're like, oh, you have no idea about production and markets and how retail works. Oh, okay. Educate me on all those things and how that pertains to Asha Sharma's inconsistent dialogue around exclusives. What does that have to do with my saying Microsoft and Xbox have historically done this? They say one thing and then the interview sounds very different than the thing that they said. Please enlighten everybody here how much smarter you are. If you're that much smarter than us, you go right ahead, brother. You educate us all on why we're so wrong to say there's a pattern with Xbox. And the pattern is you say the thing that will get the fans excited, but then when you do the interviews, it's very different. It sounds like a completely different thing. How does your knowledge of retail land on the discussion? Like, what does that have to do with analyzing an executive's comments and saying, well, yeah, you said this, but now you're doing interviews and it doesn't sound like this is really the driver. This doesn't really sound like you guys are going back. It just doesn't. That's a fair observation to make. She's literally doing interviews and not committing. She's like, yeah, we'll try if things improve. Well, does that give you a lot of confidence? And like, oh yeah, they're really going to go back. Mike on the mic says, I've been in logistics for 15 years. I might know a little some. I'm not claiming special knowledge here. I'm just pointing out, I am literally pointing out the pattern with Xbox. They told the public things multiple times to give you an impression, and then when the dust settled and when they did interviews, it sounded dramatically different, and the same thing just frickin' happened. We didn't even make it a week. We didn't even make it a week of celebrating that showcase, and they're already doing interviews where the way they're talking about this sounds dramatically different than what everybody thought. How long has it been since they sent Project Helix hoodies to people, and now she's talking like that thing can't even come to the market right now? The way she's talking, it's like, How could you possibly greenlight and ship Helix, a PC hybrid that was going to be a premium device? She's literally going against what Sarah Bond said about like the next device is going to be a premium device. It's like what? Gears had a contract, was never around for PlayStation, didn't have a contract, but was slated for day one release on PlayStation. State of K3 never announced, day one on PlayStation, Senua, etc. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And Aaron Greenberg isn't helping things. He's coming out and saying, oh, we didn't make this decision last minute. Oh, okay. Good on Tom Warren for asking him the pointed question. Well, when was the decision made then, Aaron? When was it made? Aaron Greenberg's like, yeah, the decision to take Gears from PlayStation wasn't made last minute. You literally have trailers that accidentally got seen that said the game was coming to PlayStation 5 because you had already had media assets and end cards and trailers made that said the game was coming to PlayStation. So when was this decision made? Oh, it's about a month ago, he says. It's about a month ago. You're not making the situation look any better. He didn't make that situation look any better. Oh yeah, we knew a month ago. A month ago. So you once again made a seismic decision, a pretty tectonic decision, to scrap a built game. It's built, it's ready to go for PlayStation. According to Jeff Grubb, it's sitting on a hard drive. And he's like, yeah, a month ago we made this decision. So a month ago you made this decision and you kept all the teams in the dark to the degree that, like, there's trailers in circulation with the PlayStation 5 logo in them. And they end up showing them by accident to the public. Why did you even open your mouth? Why did you even tell us this? It doesn't make it look any better. It doesn't. It's like, so you guys decided 30 days ago to make this choice. You keep it a secret from your teams, and then you accidentally circulate images and trailers that say it's coming to PS5 in the wake of saying it's a console exclusive. So now the cat is firmly out of the bag. This thing was coming to PS5. Your devs spent time working on it, and you yanked it off that platform. For what purpose? And you explain it by saying, well, this is the return of Xbox. But then you turn around and you start doing interviews, and the commitment to exclusives is so flimsy and so weak and so hollow. It's like, this all feels so dumb and performative. It feels absolutely dumb and performative. It's like, I cannot believe you guys are still doing this reactionary thing. Yeah, it's like, it doesn't look better. His explanation doesn't make it look any better at all. It's like you guys are once again having the left hand and the right hand not knowing what the other is doing. You're making choices, and you got a podcast and a trailer ready to go in the wake of the announcement, and it still has the PlayStation 5 logo in it. Yeah, this is the same Aaron Greenberg that said that Starfield wasn't a timed exclusive. You're the only one complaining? I'm not complaining. I am pointing out that there is no sense of clarity and direction because they don't even seem to have clarity and direction. I'm diagnosing why they say one thing and then the interviews sound completely different. I don't think they have a clue what they're doing at this point. I think they're flying by the seat of their dadgum pants. It's like they're just making decisions. You spend years telling people that exclusives are anti-consumer and they're going away, and that when games are everywhere, everybody wins. You spend years saying that, and now all of a sudden you're doing exclusives, and now you got your homies that have been ride or die with you having to make content, and they have to talk about this in a way where it's like, well, now we're supposed to act like exclusives are okay? Like, listen, I am not complaining. I'm telling you, if you're an Xbox loyalist, you need to be very cautious right now. They are once again saying a bunch of things that don't seem to really even mesh with each other, and they seem to be just making like haphazard decisions last minute. Do you know how tectonic and seismic it is to take a port of a game that has live service components and just be like, yeah, don't send it to a console that's got 95 million consumers that could buy it? In a year, let's just remind everybody, in a year where more people are going to buy PlayStations, because they've been sitting on PS4 and they're going to want to play GTA and Call of Duty. So you're going to have about 100 million customers end of this year probably that could buy Gears of War, and you've scrapped it. And for what purpose? For what purpose? When she does the interviews, it's like, this is an experiment? The brand and Microsoft and Satya spend all this time driving the brand in this direction, and now you're going to just experiment with Gears? Like, what? I feel bad for the coalition. I feel bad for the team. It's like, you just limited the revenue generation of the game by a significant amount just to try it out. Okay. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen. 2 whole whopping games after you've had another bad generation. I wonder what's going to happen. I don't know how anybody knows which way is up. It's like, this is all very, very confusing. It's not strong messaging. It's once again like marketing corpo speak, and then they do interviews and they're like, yeah, we'll try more in the future if things improve. I don't know. Didn't they already do this experiment? That's what I'm saying. It's so confusing, dude. There is no coherence to the messaging. There's no coherence to the messaging. I think that's why I get frustrated. It's like, I've said this since the Just 4 Games podcast. Just shoot straight with people. It's like they intentionally foster confusion. It feels intentional. It's like you just want people to be confused. It doesn't feel like they're trying to, lead from the front and have... She talks about how clarity is kindness, and it's like, I'm really, really lacking clarity here. You guys are saying all sorts of things. Nobody seems to agree. You literally are talking about how live service games will continue to be multi-plat while you lock down a live service game just to Xbox and PC. Then you talk about how, games already announced multi-plat will continue to be multi-plat, but then you announce brand new games as multi-plat. And it's like, again, when Matt Booty does that interview, it's like you're saying things that don't make sense in light of what you just did. It's like, and again, I just think it leads to confusion. How do you determine a game's going to be exclusive? Oh, case-by-case basis. What's the determination? Well, live service games will continue to be multi-plat. Why is Gears not multi-plat then? These are the questions that should be being asked. That's what should be being asked. Like, that's why Chris Dring asking, I don't understand, like, why is Clockwork an exclusive but Senua is not? And you get no comment. Because there isn't an answer. No comment is probably the most honest answer we've gotten. There's not an answer. There isn't. There's not an answer. The answer is, well, we didn't think Clockwork was going to sell that many copies to begin with, so we're willing to lose those sales on PlayStation to create fog of war and brand confusion so customers think we're going back to exclusives when we're really not. Who said Fable was showing today? Fable said it. They did not say what time, though. That's my only frustration with trying to cover this. They said this earlier this week. They're going to be showing a live gameplay demo, and they're going to share it with us today. It says the new gameplay will be today on Wednesday. Sadly, we just don't have a time. Gears is exclusive simply because the Halo franchise is at its lowest point, and Microsoft cannot say that they lost faith in Halo. It's that simple. So you can fix everything over there with 2 moves. Jack up a premium Game Pass to a crazy amount and give games day and date. Then come out with a lower, cheaper tier like 50 or 60 that bring new titles like 6 months or 1 year later that forces game sales or higher monthly subscription so they can turn a profit. I can't make heads or tails of what you're saying. $50 or $60 for Game Pass? You're not making any sense. Halo 7 won't go to PlayStation. Are you seeing the way that she talks about exclusives, though? Yeah, people aren't really happy about Matt retweeting Tim Dog. I think he unretweeted him. I don't know if it was on purpose or not. The phrasing on exclusives is got two very important parts. I mean, Derek Strickland is out here literally saying, in all the years he's covered, he's like, they have to chill with the high-level communications for a bit. You're saying too much. A $2 super chat from Illuminati Owl. 86 the S and go with the Series X and the X Pro. Hey, off topic, I just filled out the Destiny Rising seasonal survey and suggested I want you to contact Lono on Twitch, YouTube. His name is Reforge Gaming, formerly Sin and Rage, and hire him exclusively as the architect for this game. He's the ultimate guru and should be the CEO of Destiny. Well, I mean, there's other ways to make people think you're insane, because that's what they're going to think. They're going to think you're crazy. I mean, I appreciate the compliment, but they're going to think you're nuts. They're going to think you're nuts, brother. Yeah, they're already talking about how there could be radically different business models for the console. She's talking about how an expensive console wouldn't work in the market right now, which really calls into question whether or not the Helix even comes to the market. I'm trying to find the full quote on the exclusives things that she just said. About they'll try to do more. Yeah, she said, we've reached a point where it will be hard to imagine that mass audiences can afford thousands of dollars to spend on a console generation. We'll see radically different business models that we never expected to start to be coming into orbit later this year. Matt Ball already cleared up the accidental retweet. I mean, I said it might have been an accidental retweet because Tim Dog mentioned him, and he might have just been reading it and scrolling or whatever, and he accidentally hit the retweet button. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to find the quote about exclusives because a lot of people are leaving out the part. There's two parts to what she said. It's not just that they're going to try more. It's that we'll try more if. It's like a conditional statement. It was in my feed this morning. I should have saved it. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Our business isn't particularly healthy, as you noted. So we're starting by introducing one or two signature exclusives. And as the business is healthy, we will look to try and do more. Does that sound super strong and confident to you? It doesn't sound super strong and confident to me. This is just like the Just 4 Games thing all over again. It's like, yeah, our business isn't particularly healthy, as you noted. And so we're starting by introducing one or two signature exclusives. And as the business is healthy, we'll try and do more. Like I said, like... I said this going into the showcase, and I said this after the showcase. You have to be very, very careful with this company and this brand. They say whatever's necessary in the moment. So they say all this stuff. Everybody gets really excited. You have every right to be excited. Go for it. Be excited. Enjoy Gears of War. But I kept saying, if you think they're throwing it in reverse, if you think they're going back, I don't see it. And her commitment is so flimsy. As the business is healthy, what does that mean? That's not defined. She doesn't even define what that is. We will look to try and do more. Okay. You might get like one a year, and they're probably not going to be any bigger in scope or potential profit than like Clockwork Revolution would be my guess. Fruity 4D with the Prime over there on purple. Thank you so much. Getting us to 237 on the week. At least she acknowledged that this change will take years. Well, because she's doing a professional interview and she knows she can't dodge and be like, And B, if she's too indistinct or dodges questions in this environment, it would look really, really bad. She's sitting down with, what is this, Fortune? You can't sit down and do like an actual business interview and be flimsy or like, oh yeah, like they've got to be more specific than that. And she's being specific. She's also not saying much either, if you really listen to the entire interview. Setting Clockwork up for failure. I mean, that's the obvious concern, is that you're going to do this and these games and studios will be sacrificial lambs. And it's like, that's a theory people are floating out there that I really hope isn't true. Like, I really hope that's not true. Because if that's what you're doing, hang on. Okay. Oh, Matt Ball says, simple one to clear up. I posted a reply to Tim Dog's OP, which asked whether I actually liked console games. I play about 600 hours on them a year and was playing at that moment. I then retweeted Digital Wolfgun's question to give context to those following my feed, but accidentally quote tweeted Tim's OP too. I then noticed the mistake and removed and undid the quote and post. No trouble here. I'm sure this reply will fuel the controversy, but it's just a threading mistake and on my week 2. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so he's saying it was an accident. I mean, I was kind of surprised. I was like, homie literally retweeted something that made it seem like Asha needs to be quiet, which I actually agree with. But, you know, you can't be saying that about your boss. You can't be out here on mainstream saying that your boss needs to be quiet. Guys, if you're tuning in for the Fable gameplay showcase, we are waiting for it. We don't know what time it will hit. I'm guessing in about an hour and a half it will show up. So you can subscribe or follow and hang out. Make sure you're hitting the like button and consider doing a membership on YouTube or a sub on Twitch. That supports me directly. It's how I do this full time. Appreciate you guys being here. We will try and do more. If that isn't the most telling part, that we guarantee nothing, then no idea if those hearing and understand things like, you know, words. Right, Gandalf. Like, I don't know. I'm just telling people to exercise caution, because I remember when they did all the hardware stuff, and I made a video and I said, proceed with caution, because I said, I really think their future with hardware is very, very precarious. My brother, you are the Day 9, former StarCraft. I know who Day 9 is. I've met him. He's super nice. Of the Destiny franchise. I know you will get your light back. I've made all the efforts I can, and, you know, that company and community probably aren't interested. I mean, we'll see if a Destiny 3 happens, what we can do with it. I liked Outer Worlds 2. The game was just way too short for me. Oh, you guys are talking about something else. It went from just 4 games to just 2 games. I also saw in that video where she said that they may have to have partners going forward with hardware, so maybe they save money putting out systems in tandem with Dell and Asus. They've been looking into that for a while. That's not shocking to me at all that she said that. Like, I think they've been looking into, well, what if we just have other people build the hardware? I think they've been considering that for quite a bit. Quite a bit. Because it's like, well, if we have other people make the hardware for us and it doesn't sell well, then whoever built the hardware is kind of on the hook for it. Yeah, OEMs. Yeah, OEMs were always the plan. Yeah, I think they've been looking into doing OEMs for quite a bit, and I don't think Helix is the first time they've thought about doing that. After my entire wish list got filled, especially with Kingdom Hearts 4 and Final Fantasy Resonance, what else do we still have left for conferences and such. There's basically nothing left, Drexen. Basically, starting in like mid-June into July, the locomotive starts, and it's going to pick up speed in August, and it's going to be at full steam ahead in September. You are not going to be able to keep up with all the games coming out. And then October, there's like a couple of games that are going to take their shot, like Belmont's Curse, Castlevania, and a couple others. But October thins out really fast, like a couple of main games, a couple of mainline games. And then November, we know what November is. We know what November is. November is GTA 6. I wonder if they create a rent-to-own model where you lease your hardware. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to something like that, Hadigan, because I know Apple has been very successful in doing that with iPhones. iPhones got to be very, very expensive, so they just space it out on your phone bill. They just space it out on your phone bill. And it's like, what if they come up with some Game Pass tier where you pay for Game Pass Ultimate, it's all inclusive, and then for 2 years your Game Pass Ultimate is $80 a month, but you're actively paying for a new console while you're doing that. Right? Yanadid says console Game Pass. There you go. You're going right where my mind went, Yanadid. I mean, when iPhones got really, really expensive, and I think when they did, it was like that, they had to come up with a plan because it was probably hurting demand. People were like, goodness gracious, these are too expensive. Reforge's word don't mean nobody takes him serious. Most like a little kid. I don't care if you don't take me serious. That's fine. Nobody took me serious when I said Starfield was a timed exclusive. Nobody took me serious when I said the CFO made it clear they were going to start putting their games in more places. Nobody took me serious from your side. Like the people that like my content take me serious. But people from your side who are like dyed in the wool and believe everything they say, you didn't take me serious when I said, well, the Just 4 Games podcast made it pretty clear that they'll say anything, and it's not about what they do say, it's about what they don't say. Nobody took me serious when I said ABK was going to push them towards a software strategy because that's what Microsoft wants to do. They want to put software everywhere. Nobody took me serious when I analyzed Satya Nadella's remarks about we're going to put games in more places. That's what we want to do. So by all means, don't take me serious. That's your own choice. But my batting average with Microsoft and Xbox is significantly better than probably yours is. Almost like you're a little kid. I mean, if you can't even spell your correctly, I wouldn't be one to throw the stone of calling somebody a little kid. Introducing Xbox All Access. Here it is. From 2018. They had this generation. What in the world is it? You're just a joker? Then why are you here? Why are you here then? Just go somewhere else, man. Go watch whoever you think does a better job covering Xbox. All the people that said exclusives were anti-consumer and going away, now having to contort themselves to celebrate exclusives. Go watch those people, man. Why are you here? Primeval with 14 months. Thank you so much. Like, if you don't like what I'm saying, go watch the people that said exclusives were antiquated and going away. People that called the Asus Xbox ROG Ally X an Xbox, even though everybody that reviewed one said it wasn't. Like, go watch those people, man. If they're so much more accurate than I am, I don't know why you're here. Diamond Dog with a gifted member. Thank you so much. It bundled Xbox Game Pass with the console. You paid for 24 months for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and the console. I 100% could see them going back to that. Yeah. You have to pass a credit check. Well, for sure. I mean, same deal with the cell phone account. Like, when you have an existing AT&T cell phone account, you've gone through a credit check. So when they're like, oh, hey, do you want to just put it on your bill? And you're like, yeah, that's fine. Well, you have an established, like, business relationship with that company, and you've gone through their credit check. Rissick with a gift that gets us to 240. We're a 10 bomb away from 250. Thank you very much. Hang on a second. In case anybody does a 10 bomb, I don't want this freaking chode getting one. I just looked. I got almost 40 hours out of Outer Worlds 2. I got under 20 in the main Outer Worlds 1. I don't know how that's too short. Yeah, that doesn't sound like the game's too short to me. I feel like convenience is everything. Simplicity and ease of use is everything. Once PC gets that right, I think it overtakes consoles. Well, I don't see PCs overtaking consoles unless they can become significantly more affordable. Like, that's always going to be your dilemma, is that you spend 3 times that amount on a pre-built because it can't be subsidized. Like, Nintendo's and PlayStations have historically been subsidized by the fact that, like, once you're in their ecosystem, they make money off of you. How are you going to do that with a PC? Who's going to do that? Who's going to build that PC and then subsidize it? I think that's going to be your prediction's going to have a really, really hard time getting traction in the market, because who in the world is going to build that and subsidize that so that you can then go to the store and buy like a $600, $700 PC for your living room, like a gaming PC for your living room? Like, Steam Machine and the Helix have all been predicted to be significantly more expensive than consoles. Like, that's not going to take over in the market at all, because everybody's crying about being priced out of gaming when the consoles went up, to $700, $600. What do you think is going to happen with a PC that's double that? That's not going to take over at all. There's not going to be inertia behind something that expensive. When is Steam Machine releasing? We don't know. If it releases this year, I think it'll be, at this point, I think it'll be kind of surprising. PC can't take it because you got 1,000 components for influences each game, while console have 2 or 3 specific models with specific components. Yeah, all the predictions about consoles going away and PCs taking over, I always think they're made by people who are speaking from an ideological position. They're not speaking from a position of, like, actually analyzing, like, what would happen in the market. Because, like, you can't in one breath say, oh, these consoles are getting ridiculous, you're pricing people out of the hobby, and then turn around and be like, yeah, but PCs are going to take over. It's like, your position is so logically incoherent. Like, what? How could something that expensive take over? That's not going to happen. Again, you'd have to have somebody ordering the parts at scale and building the PCs at scale and then willingly taking a loss and somehow then subsidizing that loss, because once you buy the PC, you could buy games from anywhere. You could buy games from anywhere. You could buy them from GOG, you could buy them from Steam, you can buy them from Epic, you can buy them from Xbox. So it's like, there's no way you're going to get a guaranteed amount of return on that person, because you don't know what they're going to do with the PC. They could buy your gaming PC because it's cheap, and then they could just put it in their office and use it as an entertainment box, and they could, like, watch Netflix on it and do email. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't, it's really, really difficult to ever successfully build a PC like that at scale and then subsidize it, because so many people could buy it and use it for completely different things, or never give you any money beyond the initial purchase. I just don't see that happening in the market. You would have to get, PC peripherals would have to become so incredibly cheap that a company could step in, like Valve or something, and, like, order the parts and build the thing at scale, and then they obviously could subsidize it and take a hit, knowing that if they get you in Steam OS and their Steam store, they're going to continually make money off you perpetually. You can buy games from Ubi, EA Play, CD Keys, G2A, and so on. Yeah, there's so many other options for you to buy the games from. And then, if you're like, well, let's wall off the garden and we'll sell it and you can only use our storefront, like if Microsoft subsidized it, now you've got something that people aren't even going to want. People aren't even going to want that. They're going to be like, oh, I can't interact with Steam, I'm out. Console's just too easy. Don't nobody old like some of us want to sit there clicking on a mouse and trying to shoot Thrall. Like, come on, man. Well, you also have to think about the generation behind us. The generation behind us, they're very platform agnostic. They don't really care about all this console war stuff. And they were born at a time where they play games on iPhones and iPads just as much, if not more sometimes. That's not the kind of person that's going to want to spend large amounts of money on something that might need to be updated with drivers, or they're going to tinker with settings or anything like that. If they cut their teeth on iPad gaming and iPhone gaming, it's going to be a lot easier to get them to buy a console than a PC. Do you see what I'm thinking? Like, even the generation behind us, they're going to struggle to sell consoles to. You ain't going to get those people to be buying PCs hand over fist. Now, in certain regions, you might. Like China, the PC culture is more embedded, and the console culture is just not there yet, and it might never be. But for the most part, when you go into the larger gaming markets, the PC choice, Japan and Korea, they game on the go. They're playing on their phones. America and Europe, I mean, we're using consoles. Like, console sales in these places are typically very strong for Nintendo and for PlayStation. PC has a purpose, and that's to multitask. Web browse, work. Consoles are just strictly to play. One set of components versus 1,000 combinations of components. PC is great, but it won't overtake. That's true. My nephews are not trying to buy a $2,500 or more PC. They want J's and they want to go to strip clubs. Yeah, I mean, the culture is shifting. The culture is shifting. It's happening. Now, the good news is the age bracket in gaming is pretty dadgum big. Like, the average gamer in gaming, like 28 to 50. And we tend to have more money than the generation behind us. The generation behind us is, some of the trajectories aren't looking so good for them right now. So, obviously, that means there is a degree of health that will continue. As far as, like, games will still sell, companies can still rely on, a reasonable amount of sales for their products and for their ecosystems. Because there's a lot of us, there's a lot of us still gaming. But you've got to think about 20 years from now, when, a lot of us are in our 60s, 70s, or have passed away. Because, if you right now are in your 50s and 60s, you get into your 70s and 80s, and, that's when a lot of us start passing away. Well, then you're not gaming. You're not spending money in gaming. Money, yes. Time, no. Yeah. Dads are the most time poor. Moms and dads. How hilarious would it have been if the Gears of War E-Day showcase started with captured on a PS5 Pro? Knowing the Coalition and their work, I wouldn't be surprised if the PS5 Pro enhancements were pretty dadgum good. I mean, the game looks fantastic in the showcase. I'm assuming they're showing it to us on a PC because they don't specify where it's being played. Anytime they don't specify, it's probably PC. If it was the Series X, they would have specified. For the love of gaming, any GTA 6 news? No, I think Rockstar is playing nice with their partners. I don't think Rockstar wants to walk out and, like, Godzilla stomp all over Xbox and PlayStation, because that's their partners. That's where they're selling the game. You know what I mean? So they're not going to... I don't think they're going to say anything until August. I think GTA 6 is locked up tight for the next 2 months. You got to let everybody get all their pre-orders and all their money spent on all the games coming in September. And then August, GTA 6 starts marketing. And that's when people start buttoning up and saving for GTA 6 and spending less money in the gaming market, because they know daddy's coming. My prediction with what Asha is saying, Xbox is going to go full xCloud. I definitely think they're either going to go to some way for you to, like, rent to own, or, like, pay for an Xbox through Game Pass incrementally like they did back in 2018. You'll go through a credit check, and they'll be like, okay, for the next however many months, your Game Pass subscription is going to be, $50 a month instead of 20. Okay, so you got to figure, if you're trying to get yourself if you're trying to get a $600 console, and they divide that into payments of 30, that's 20 months. That's almost 2 years. So for 2 years, your Game Pass Ultimate would be $50 a month instead of 30, and guess what? The entire time you're paying for your Series X. That's not bad. Like, if you're struggling right now to pay for games and to stay in gaming, and your credit's not terrible, $50 a month is very reasonable. It's like, oh, well, not only is it going to give me a brand new console that'll be paid off in 20 months, I'm also going to have Game Pass. I'm going to be able to play games. I'm going to get games every month. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they do something like that. Then I also think, yeah, they might push hard in the cloud, trying to get people to game through the cloud. I think the struggle with cloud gaming is non-gamers are not going to be interested in it, and gamers know the rub. They know that it's good, but also can be kind of bad depending on your internet speed. You're going to have a hard time convincing people who are accustomed to consoles to start gaming on the cloud full time. There are people that are gung-ho about cloud. Ginger's in chat. He's one of them. I really like cloud gaming when I need it. I don't like cloud gaming as my primary way of gaming. When I was in Florida and was able to use my portal, I helped my brother-in-law set up a mesh, an extender in his house, because their Wi-Fi speed was great if you were in his office, but then the rest of the house was terrible, and they had an extender and it wasn't working well. And I said, let's get on Amazon, let's do a little search and find one that's got good reviews, because the one he had bad reviews. So we found one. I helped him set it up, and then my portal was cruising, super fast, super crisp. I was able to play almost all of the second half of Mouse PI while I was there, because once the kids were in bed, we're all just kind of sitting around and people are on their phones and stuff. It's kind of the end of the day, and I would just sit there and play Mouse PI. And it was great. For cloud gaming, I was like, this is the kind of game. Now, I wouldn't play like Sekiro over cloud, but for Mouse PI, it was fantastic. I'm never going to make that the main way I play video games. Never. Never say never. There's no way that it'd ever be the main way that I play. You're never going to get cloud to equal a native experience. You're just not. I don't think that's happening in our lifetime. I'm always going to prefer the native experience if I can get it. If you guys are tuning in for the Fable gameplay showcase, we are waiting for it. I actually think it's going to be in about an hour. So hang tight, hit subscribe, hit like. If you guys have been watching all morning and you forgot to hit like, do that now. If Lono is your tech support, you know you done effed up in this life. Setting up stuff like that, I'm actually not too bad. Setting up like extenders and Wi-Fi. Listen, I can do it, Zubair. It's that I don't like to and I don't want to. But when it's for somebody like that, who I know needs the help, it's fine. I took an afternoon and I got his extender set up for him. NVIDIA and AMD got people to be okay with fake frames in large quantities. I just don't know. Hey, Lono, what will you spend your money on with all these games coming? I don't know. I'll probably buy the ones and play the ones that I'm the most interested in, and then whichever one really hooks me, I'll work on finishing that one first. I just finished 007 First Light yesterday. Fantastic. So good. Sets up that franchise beautifully. Unfortunately, the next one probably won't be made by IOI. It'll be made by friggin' Amazon. It depends on if they start innovating on internet infrastructure and cloud much more, and they start winding down or stopping innovation on the native hardware due to limitations of some sort. Yeah, but Solemn, if innovation goes down on native hardware, what are you clouding into, brother? What are you clouding into? You're going to always be clouding into a server stack that's running stuff off of a CPU and a GPU. That doesn't change in the equation. If the internet gets way better and the latency goes way down, native is still king. Native is still king. You're clouding into the same hardware I can have in my house. Like, unless they come up with non-consumer level technology that the cloud stuff's running on, and then I can't buy it, I can't build it or whatever. But you're clouding into the same hardware that that I basically can have access to and buy myself. If you're going to cloud into an Xbox server stack or a PlayStation server stack, you're playing on hardware. So the same limitations that we're going to start to see in depreciating returns in hardware, it's going to apply to cloud just as much as it does to somebody putting a console in their living room. .007 could have truly been a game of the year, but I feel they dumbed it down to hit mass market. I didn't feel like it was dumbed down at all. I had a great time with it. It did tend to devolve into just fight or everybody or shoot everybody. I had a really, really great stealth run in one room near the end. I got everybody. Nobody saw me. It felt fantastic. For the most part, everything devolved into fighting. And the fighting was fun, so I didn't care. I was like, that's fine. I got pretty good at not getting punched, my lights getting punched out. There's a couple of things you can do within the fights that feel a little exploity, but you can kind of spam the dodge, and it's really, really hard for them to knock you out. If you guys are watching on YouTube, take a quick second and make sure that it saved your like. Everybody right now, I know you guys watch every day, you listen and you lurk, and sometimes you forget. Everybody make sure that you hit that thumbs up button. I'm continuing to refresh my feeds. I'm continuing to refresh my feeds to see. We are waiting for the Fable gameplay showcase. It's happening at some point today. And Wired Rope drops a 5-bomb on Twitch. We are exactly a 5 away. It's tied 9-9. It's 9-9. YouTube or Twitch could steal the next milestone. Remember, whoever hits it gets it. When you guys make it hit a 25 milestone, every 25, I gift one to the community. And thank you guys so much for being here today and supporting the channel as we wait for this Fable gameplay. When does the showcase start? Unfortunately, we don't know. And DJ May 88 steals it. YouTube too slow to get it, and I now owe Purple a member. I'm going to do that now. I'd been waiting because it's like $6 for a single. I can gift them all. There's 80 eligible people live right now. I can gift to all of you. It's only $400. I'm not going to do that. Jiminy Christmas. I've never seen that before. Thank you so much. Anybody clicks that button, you're flexing. Dadgum. The tech in our houses today is good enough to play good games for the literal rest of our lives. What will force me to cloud when I can play a game like Alan Wake 2 today? That is such a good point, Zubair. So, like, that was a point that Colin Moriarty made when I had him on the show. Did they answer? They say it's June 10th, and people say what time, and they're not answering. Yeah. But I thought that was a great point that Colin said. He said these consoles are too good. He said when you were on a PlayStation 3 and even late stage PlayStation 4, there was an angst and a feeling of like, I got to get off this thing. I got to get on the new tech. He's like, he was basically saying he doesn't feel like people are going to feel that way late stage PS5. They're not going to be like, I got to get off this thing because the games look too dadgum good. If you can play a game that looks like Wolverine and runs at 60, you're not going to be like, yeah, I got to get off this, dude. This sucks compared to games at basically the same performance with better lighting. Like, that's essentially where we're going. Like, the visual lift that companies can add with, like, good lighting systems, that's where we're headed. That's where we're headed. And that's going to be a lot harder to create that consumer angst or that FOMO to be like, oh, I got to get off this console. You're not going to feel that late-gen PS5. I'm not satisfied until Ready Player One. Yeah, but that's you specifically, Solemn. We're talking about the average consumer, the average gamer. Think about the average gamer and the average consumer. They are not going to feel this pressure to be like, I got to get off my PS5. think about historically how hard it is sometimes to get people to switch. They're comfortable with what they have. They like what they have. And they're like, oh, it's kind of expensive to buy a console right now. Okay? If it's kind of expensive to buy a console right now, and we know people don't like change, and we know people don't particularly like spending money, what do you think they're going to do? Hang on. I've got a funny tweet from my friend. Friends of ours, they used to live across the street, and I gave her, they look like giant scissors, like hedge trimmers. And she had this there was like this bush-like tree thing. It was kind of a hybrid, and it had these branches that were kind of coming out, and she wanted to kind of bring them back in and give it a more uniform shape. And she's doing it, and she's going around, the bush with these hedge trimmers, and she's just wham, wham, like she's slamming it shut. And I said, I watched her a little bit because I was thinking, well, maybe she just didn't realize or whatever. And she is just really, really going after it. And so I was like, you don't have to do it that hard. They're really sharp. I mean, you just lightly close them, and they will cut through they will cut through. And she starts laughing. I'm like, you're taking out your aggression on this, which I was like, you got some anger issues. Like, and it was a running gag, like, joke with us. So she just took a picture, like she's got hedge trimmers. They moved away, but she's going to be trimming some hedges today. I was like, take out that aggression. Take out that pent-up aggression. She was just giving it to that thing. I was like, oh, my golly. Yo, Caffeine Cowboy, thank you so much for 5 months and a Prime. Stop killing games will make cloud the only thing so that you can't play games on your own. I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, I definitely think stop killing games is going to potentially cause a lot of issues, especially with smaller studios. I've said that for a while. I think people are, not really seeing the full picture there, but I don't know if it's going to drive everything to cloud. I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 years or so, cloud streaming becomes more of the norm. I just don't know. There are too many trends that would have to stop, like PC gaming growing at the rate that it's growing in the Chinese market. Handheld gaming is growing, not super fast, but it's growing. The one thing that will probably help cloud grow would be gaming on the go in the Asian market, if their infrastructure is significantly better than ours in a lot of their major cities. So you could see gaming on the go really help there. Because if people are accustomed to gaming on a device on the go, and you can get that latency down, and if you've got infrastructure in a major city where they can't tell, they're just like, yeah, this thing's running great, you could see that. But you're going to need some of that, citywide Wi-Fi that has, undeniable speeds. Roblox wants the lawsuits settled out of court. Of course they do. Frick that company. I just cannot see a next-gen plus 1000 console that's dropping anytime soon being met with anything other than hate and personal moral injury. Is that it? Did they just drop it? Okay, they dropped it. How long have we been streaming? I'm just going to change the thumbnail. And then we'll just use a timestamp. I'm not going to do a second stream. Okay, we got a gameplay demo to watch. It's 30 minutes long. Give me 1 second here. I need to change the thumbnail, and this is going to be a live reaction. All right. Gameplay reaction. I didn't do a good one. I have a showcase reaction. That's not going to look right in the feed. We'll just keep the one that we have. Frick it. I'll make one late. I'll make one later, I guess. Okay. Yeah, it's 30 minutes. But what's going on? I'm not getting any sound. Hang on. Okay, Chrome is not muted. PC properties. Okay, there we go. Wait. No, that's going to be me. Okay.
For changing people's lives, building property empires, manipulating the economic fate of...
Okay.
Fable is a beautiful open-world action RPG, packed with drama, jeopardy, and high-stakes choices that change the world. But at the heart of Fable is a game within a game. An endless, interconnected life sim where you'll be remembered for changing people's lives, building property empires, manipulating the economic fate of entire settlements, and more. And as you do all this, you'll build different identities and experience a complex, nuanced morality that is so much more than good versus evil. It's what you'll do in Fable when you aren't saving the world, and we call it building an extraordinary life. Let's dive in. Here I am in the middle of Oakshire, one of the 6 regions in our visually diverse open world. It's characterised by beautiful rolling hills and lush, colourful foliage, inspired by the British countryside. There are settlements of different sizes throughout the world, each with their own population, traits and landmarks. Albion is full of variety. We can see one of those settlements up ahead. Silverbrook, a peaceful farming town and the largest settlement in Oakshire.
It looks good so far. Frame rate's a little hard to tell. Let me see what we got this going at. It's 1440/60. I'm gonna drop it off the 4K because sometimes the 4K doesn't play well.
So it has an almost unhealthy obsession with vegetables, which can be seen in every detail of the environment. It's in how the villagers have decorated their houses, their shops, and their streets. It's even in how they dress their scarecrows. When I enter a settlement, I quickly run into the beating heart of Albion. Its people. There are over 1,000 handcrafted, fully voiced NPCs, each one with their own job, home, routine, relationships, and memory. None of these villagers are scripted dressing. They have emergent behaviour powered by real-time systems. They go to work, they go to bed, they have hobbies and families. Sometimes, they just want to spend time in the pub. Albion feels alive because its people have lives. I've never been to Silverbrook.
It says it's running at 60. I just think sometimes YouTube gets a little jittery. It looks fine to me, but it does look like they're moving really slow.
And because I've done nothing of note yet, Max the stable hand here is completely indifferent to me.
Got a minute? What do you want then?
So, if I ask him to follow me...
Follow me. I don't deal with randos.
He won't.
He said
I thought I was
randos.
weird. That's fair.
Right then. Bye. And there you go, I guess.
In the story, I'm here investigating if there's a connection between Isabel, the powerful red-cloaked hero I'm pursuing, and the strange magical incidents being reported in Silverbrook.
Okay, I'm going to rewind it. I just want you guys to do something. So this is a trick you can do to check on frame rate. This actually looks fine to me. Watch the ground as it passes. Don't watch anything else. It looks smooth as he's running here.
Connection between Isabel, the powerful red-cloaked hero I'm pursuing, and the strange magical incidents being reported in Silverbrook.
Do you see? It looks smooth to me.
I've heard something about giant vegetables and a hero called Arden who lives nearby. Maybe they could help me find Isabel. And it seems there's a bit of a commotion in the town square. Let's see what's going on.
Someone needs to tell this little brat what's what.
Watch what?
Oh, Hero, can you do me a favour and get this bloody kid away from me?
No! I won't let you kill Colin! Hero! You have to stop him!
Look, kid, I'm a butcher, and Colin's just a pig. Do I need to spell it out?
But I'm not like all the other pigs. Am I, John?
Oh, Look, I am not having this conversation with you again, Colin.
Did I just understand that pig?
Oh, yeah, the novelty wears off after a bit, trust me.
Colin's special! Please. We can eat something else at this little travel feast. Well done.
People are expecting a hog roast, kid, and I've been preparing this pig for ages.
But I've only just learned to communicate. Who knows what else I could achieve? I've got potential, Hero. Don't let me end up on a spit. Please.
Well, this certainly qualifies as a magical incident. What you're seeing here is not a cinematic. It's just one of the hundreds of story conversations in our game. We have over 2 hours of high-quality, performance-captured cinematics, just like the ones you've seen in our trailers.
Okay, I want to speak to some of the criticism in chat. I think you guys are correct, but I want to give you some context. The visual fidelity that we're seeing in the hair, the clothing, and the faces is fantastic, and they're having to use automation for all of those voice lines. There's going to be so many NPCs, people, and things, and even pigs that you can interact with. I'm okay with the lip sync and the lip movement being a little stiff and wooden because everything else looks so good. And you know, anytime you're in a game like this and they're having to rely on automated systems for the mouth movements, it's not going to look great, and I'm 100% okay with that. You guys aren't wrong in your observation. I'm just trying to offer some context as to why I think it's okay.
But in these conversations, you'll make hundreds of branching dialogue choices that change what happens and how people feel about you. It's important to note that every choice has a consequence. It's up to me if Colin lives or dies, and I think he should live. I mean, come on, he's a talking pig.
Let the pig live.
Yes!
Thanks, Hero. I knew you'd understand. No hard feelings, John.
You don't make the decisions here. This is my pig, bought and paid for.
I can see his point, so I'm going to pay the butcher.
What's the pig worth to you? I'll cover it.
Oh, it's not just a pig. It's provisions, labour, faff. We're talking thousands.
2,000 gold. That seems pretty steep. All right, Colin's worth it.
Here, this should cover your expenses.
Fine. Those rumours about Dave's veg better be true. Feast going vegan this year.
Hero! You saved Colin. Mum gave me these, but I think you deserve them more.
Thanks. Maybe you could help me back. The guild sent me. There's been reports of strange things happening around here.
Like what?
Who's in charge around here? And where's Arden, the hero?
Arden doesn't really come around here anymore. You should try the sheriff. His office is nearby. Come on, Colin. Let's go.
I've spared Colin's life. I've also gained reputations as virtuous and shrewd. In Fable, every action generates local reputation.
Guys, if you're enjoying this showcase and breakdown, be sure to hit the like button. Thanks for being here. It's 30 minutes long, and we're about 7 minutes in.
You'll eventually be known for the reputations you build, and everyone will judge you on their own moral terms, often directly.
I'll say so far it looks a lot better than what they showed earlier this year.
Complex, nuanced take on morality, evolving beyond just right and wrong. It reflects real life, where morality is multifaceted and subjective. One person's good is another person's evil.
I want to see combat.
Divide opinion.
Let's chat to some other folks and see what they think about me.
Hello there.
Hey, you're that hero.
This is Jack the Beggar. He's a commoner who's unemployed right now, which is a shame, given he's a hard-working sort of person. On the right is how he feels about me. Jack likes my virtuous reputation and thinks I'm principled. Other NPCs might feel differently about my choices, because each has their own moral view on the choices you make.
Now, I wonder if they're going to speak to this, because I'm fairly certain they said, as you play the game, every town is a fresh start. So in this town, this is true of you, but they made it sound like when you go to a new town, they're not going to know who you are and see this about you from get-go.
There are lots of ways to interact with NPCs. I'm going to give some gold to Jack, because he seems nice, and he's a bit down on his luck.
We're just a
For you.
straight baller.
I hope it helps.
Oh, this is going straight in my pocket. Cheers.
He was grateful for that, and he felt I was being kind. Let's give him a bit more.
What the heck?
Here. Don't spend it all at once.
This takes the edge off. Thank you.
That made an impact. I've gained a reputation for being kind, and I'm known for it across Silverbrook. Everything you do has a consequence. Let's leave Jack.
So long. You're like a breath of fresh air, you know?
I do like Jack, though. Maybe I should buy him a gift. There are lots of shops with different stock across Albion. Let's go to the general store across the street to see what they have. Every business has NPCs working in them as part of their daily life. Just like Megan here.
This is some quality stuff.
Welcome, hero. What can I do for you?
Doing my deal to save Colin gave me a shrewd reputation, and Megan here is a fan. She's an ambitious commoner, and she thinks I'm savvy because of my earlier deal-making. Every NPC has unique characteristics driving who they are and what they think of you. You know what? Forget Jack. He's dead to me. I'm going to try flirting with Megan.
Oh!
Phew. Is it hot around here, or is it just you?
Well, aren't you confident? Between you and me, I've always wanted to swoon.
That went well. Megan thinks I'm charming and flirty, and I've started to build a reputation for it in Silverbrook. Let's ask her out on a date.
Do you want to grab a drink or something?
Would you believe you're almost what I'm looking for?
Almost.
Clearly she's interested, but I'm not worthy of her time just yet. She wants to date an entrepreneur who owns their own home and only wears fancy clothes. They're high standards. She is ambitious after all. All right, I'm invested in taking Megan on a date. Let's go.
I'll be back, I'm sure.
You have a smashing day.
First, I'll need to buy a business to get a reputation as an entrepreneur. In Fable, I can literally buy any business. I could buy that bakery across the street, or around the corner, I could buy one of the stalls. But you know what? I think I like the pub, the Silver Trough. It's simple to buy a property. Interact with the deed outside the front door to see income, price, and the number of people employed there. To be honest, I've always wanted to own a pub, so let's buy it.
Homie is a straight
Maybe this
baller.
is the start of my business empire. I'm a proud new pub owner. Now I can set prices and wages, and I can manage the staff. Every villager performs differently. Here, Susan the bartender is great with customers because she's caring. And that's giving my pub an income boost of 10%. Thanks, Susan. The pub's understaffed though. As the new owner, I should probably sort that out. And guess what? I know just the hard-working fellow. Let's go back to Jack the Beggar.
You're so pure.
I've also gained reputations as an entrepreneur and as rich, because I bought the pub and it cost me a ton of gold.
A lot of you guys are complaining about, like, this is kind of slow.
Jack,
this is a lot of
you're
what
no
you're going to
longer
do in
dead
the
to
game,
me.
boys.
Hi there.
It's
Hey,
more
you.
than just hacking and slashing in the woods.
Jack still likes me for my kindness earlier. But I like that Jack is hard-working, so I'm going to give him a job in my pub.
Got a job, if you're interested.
I can probably do that, yeah.
I can hire anyone, providing they like me enough to accept my job offer. Great. Jack is thankful I've made a positive impact on his life. He's no longer a beggar, and he's now a bartender.
Cheers.
Yeah, makes sense. There are so many other people to talk to.
Villagers react to the reputations you build,
They'd help with anything.
and they remember the things you do to them. Now the pub is fully staffed, and Jack can head off to work.
Incredible.
Take your time, Jack.
Next, I need some fancy clothes. Let's head to the tailor.
What a cheeky charmer.
There are lots of places I can update my look. Tailors, hairdressers, tattooists. And every settlement has different options available. There are rare outfits to discover in the more dangerous parts of Albion too. There are tons of options to create a unique look for your hero. This place looks fancy. Let's head inside. This is the tailor, Rhiannon.
So much choice on offer.
We're closing soon.
Just like real life, wealth is a divisive topic, and Rhiannon has her own views. In stark contrast to the ambitious Megan, she's very much not a fan of rich entrepreneurs, and she thinks I'm out of touch. Which makes sense, given she's humble. Let's have a look at what she's selling. Fancy clothes, hopefully.
Can I see your stuff?
Don't waste my time.
Rhiannon's jacking up the prices by 80% just for me. Looking closer reveals why. That's just how much she hates me. This is just one example of where your choices ripple through all the interconnected systems. And here I've got our character customizer. I'm free at any time to find a wardrobe and change a bunch of different things about myself. I can change my skin tone, body, head, hair, and lots more. In the tailor, I can only buy clothes. But there's over 120 different shops in Albion, each with their own stock and items to buy. Let's finish my outfit with some fancy shoes. See you, Rhiannon.
Take care.
Yeah, alright.
We don't get on, but it's been a pleasure. Now I'm really looking the part. Let's check on my relationship with Megan. At any time, I can dip into property and people screens to track my loved ones, of which there could be many, because I can have relationships with everyone in Albion if I like. It would just take a while. While I'm here, I can see the reputation cloud on the right. It shows me what I'm known for in Silverbrook.
So he basically just said you can be a total whore. You can have relationships with everybody. It'll just take some time.
As an entrepreneur, rich, kind, shrewd, and virtuous.
Shrewd?
Evil. However, as we've seen with Megan and Rhiannon, Fable's morality reflects the complexity of judgment we see in the world today, where everyone has their own moral view.
The last thing left for Megan is to own a home. I'm a bit short on cash though, seeing as I paid a fortune to save Colin and bought a pub. But since I've bought it, I've been earning passive income, so let's swing by to collect it. The people of Silverbrook all have their own nuanced, subjective view of who I am and what they think of me. But if I don't like my reputations in Silverbrook, I can pay the town crier to change them. I give them gold, a lot of gold, and they spread a new reputation for me. If you're rich enough, you can change what people think of you. Here I am at the Silver Trough, now under new management. Let's head inside and check in on our employees.
I mean, we got a thick wallet and we got a thick booty. Like,
There's
what's
Susan,
going on, boy?
my star bartender from earlier.
Well, aren't you a do-gooder?
Hey, you. Working hard?
Just who I wanted to see. You.
Oh, she fancies me because she thinks I'm compassionate. Sorry, Susan. I only have eyes for Megan.
Keep at it.
Why are they hiding the actual game? Some of you guys are really, really off the mark here. This is the game, bro. This is a significant amount of what you'll do in Fable. They're not hiding anything. Now, I'm with you. They've got 13 minutes to show some combat. This isn't the only thing you're going to do. But they're not hiding the game. This is literally what you'll do in Fable.
You and me, boss. You and me.
Hey.
And there's Jack. Let's say hi.
How's it going? Just working. You know me.
I knew you'd work out, Jack. He is a hard-working commoner after all. Keep up the good work.
Farewell. See you, boss.
Things seem to be ticking over in here, so I'll head downstairs to the income chest to collect my profits.
Like, play through 20 minutes of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You do very similar things. You walk around town, talk to people, learn things, get things, and work on relationships. Homies, this is a huge part of games like this. It might not be for you, which is fine.
There's an income chest in every business I own, and every property I live in. It means I don't have to go to each individual place, and I can collect all my income from any of them. I've got a decent amount of gold now. Time to pick off the last thing on Megan's list. Owning my own property in Silverbrook.
It should also be pointed out that you don't have to do
house hunting.
You don't have to do any of this, y'all. You can just go questing. I'm fairly certain you can skip all of this. A lot of this is totally optional. You got to know that as well. Like, if you want to go more questy, adventure-y, I'm fairly certain you can play the game that way.
I can buy literally any house in Albion. It would just take a while. And quite a bit of gold.
I'll say
But
performance.
I like the look of this one.
I'll say performance is my biggest concern. It looks like the lighting and the graphics are at a very, very high level, and it looks like it's going to be a little framey. But again, a lot of these debuts, they've recorded everything in 30. Even though the video says it's 60, at times I feel like it's not at 60. It's hard to tell.
Nice garden, rural views, weird hairy pig statues out front. Let's have a look. Looks like I don't quite have enough money. That's a shame. But one thing I can do is pick up a shift at a job. There's a blacksmith just down the road. Hopefully I can go earn enough gold there. Going on dates, buying properties and businesses, and doing jobs are all part of the interconnected Fable experience. It really adds to the sense of immersion when I can take a break from saving the world to change the lives of the people around me and discover how the simulation reacts. I could play this part of the game forever, and I'd never run out of systemic toys to tinker with. There's a couple of jobs to take on across Albion, but today I fancy a try at blacksmithing. It's as simple as walking up to the anvil to start a shift. No prior experience required.
It looks stuttery. There are times where it looks a little stuttery, yes.
In the interest of time, we've reduced the time limit here. But regardless, it's a classic case of risk versus reward. I'm constantly having to balance speed versus precision, while trying to earn as much as I can.
But he just made $6,000
I need to hit all the
for that?
hotspots to complete an item. But if I manage a perfect hit, just like that, I earn a multiplier on my gold.
Dude, no wonder this guy... no wonder this guy's just throwing money around like it's nothing. He can go hit a pitchfork 3 times and make $12,000. Just straight baller in moments.
That's a successful shift completed. I can return to the blacksmith anytime to earn more gold and gain blacksmithing experience while building my reputation.
$12,000. He's
I've
he's
now
got like
just about enough gold for the house.
He's got
Let's
half
head
the
back
price
down
of
the
a
street
house.
and buy it.
Half the price of a house from 2 pitchforks.
There are guards stationed in every settlement. They're always there to keep a watchful eye on the villagers and probably 2 eyes on a hero. If I get caught committing crimes, I'll find myself in trouble with the law. And that will change what people think of me.
Yeah, graphically it looks very nice. It's got a denseness to it. Like, the town has a real charm to it. I like it.
We're back. Let's buy the house.
What did that house cost you? About 4 swings of a hammer.
Now I'm the owner. I can hike up the rent or even make it free if I'm feeling charitable.
A 3-minute
I
shift
can
at the
manage my tenants
blacksmith.
too. I can let
Bought a
them
house.
stay and keep collecting the rental income, but I want to move in myself. Which gives me the choice to just chuck them out on the street or be nice and give them a bit of gold to leave. And if I chuck them out, that would cause me to be known as heartless. And I'm trying to be nice right now in case I ruin things with Megan. And now I'm free to move in. Let's look around. Home sweet home.
Yeah, it's very possible they increase the payout at the blacksmith. Because, yeah, working a 2-minute shift at the blacksmith to buy a house, I mean, maybe it is really quick, though. Because every town, like, are you really going to want to spend, like, hours and hours and hours in one town just to buy one house? Like, they might have it sped up because of the size of the world. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be, like, little macro economies in every town that help you buy houses that fast. It might just be for the demo.
I can buy any house in Albion. And while this one lacks some square footage, there are huge houses, even mansions I can buy throughout the game. Looks like the tenants left some stuff behind. Awful fans, apparently. Wherever I live, I have access to my income chest and wardrobe, so I can collect all my gold and change my appearance whenever I like. That was the last thing on Megan's list. Let's head back to the general store. Fable has a dynamic time of day that changes what people are doing throughout their routine. It's still the afternoon, so hopefully Megan is still working.
Yeah, Paul said they said something about speeding it up for the demo, so yeah.
If I'm too late, she'll be back home in bed.
And there's my new pub with some customers in the beer garden.
Yeah, he said it was adjusted for the sake of time. Yeah, I missed that. Sorry. I'm
Now
like
we're back
trying
at
to
the general store.
read
Let's
chat.
find Megan.
Just the person I wanted to see.
Still interested?
I've ticked off all Megan's dating goals, so now my chances of romance are much improved.
Somebody says, why not so critical like Crimson that showed PC gameplay? Crimson Desert consistently showed PC gameplay on the PlayStation channel, and they wouldn't let us see console gameplay. I've already said this looks a little shaky in the performance, and I would like to know, yeah, what's it running on? I've not been soft on this game. I've actually said from the beginning it's looked a little stuttery and shaky in the other showcases as well.
Let's ask her on a date again.
How about a date?
A date? Oh, I'm chuffed to bits.
What's that?
I can
Brit?
offer a gift
What
to
does
increase my
chuffed to
chances of a
bits
date
mean?
being a good one. As
Can somebody
tempting as my new
interpret?
awful is, I'm going to give Megan flowers instead.
Give her some meat.
I think she'll like them more. Here we are on a date at the Silver Trough. Hope I'm getting free drinks. Looks like it went well.
That was quite the date, hero. Loved it.
Hey, you.
Oh, hero. Yeah, that date was just brill.
Megan found me quite charming. I'd like to make things official, so I'll ask her to be in a relationship with me.
So what do you say? Ready for something more?
And what a lovely couple we'll make.
Whatever comes next, I'm with you.
It's official. That's not the end, though. I could build this relationship a lot more. We could get married, which comes with its own set of goals. We could move into my house and start a family. And I can even hire her for one of my businesses. Things could go the other way, too. I could break up with Megan, or divorce her in future. Or I might make choices that make her divorce me. There's lots of ways I could change her life, and she'll remember. But we've seen enough romance for now. Bye, Megan.
I have to go. but you're welcome to watch me leave.
You have a lovely time, sweetheart.
All right.
Before we go,
5 minutes.
I've only really demonstrated what it's like being an upstanding citizen in Silverbrook. Our game is one full of contrast, though,
Modest. Yeah, I like it.
where I decide the kind of hero I want to be. So let's briefly explore what it's like if I'm not so nice. Hi, Susan.
Nose to the grindstone. Love to see it.
Lovely to see you, boss.
Sorry, Susan. You're fired.
Yeah. You're fired. Sorry.
You're gonna regret that, swine.
She's not happy about that, and she thinks I'm being heartless. But because in Fable morality is subjective and varies from person to person, not everybody will have a problem with that.
Person to person.
There might even be someone who fancies me, because I'm heartless. Villagers also react to my physical actions. If I start firing arrows around the place, they'll start to perceive me as reckless. I can even take pot shots at the locals if I want.
Oh my gosh!
And now I've gone too far, but I'm in the mood for a fight. In Fable, you can express yourself with your own combat style, combining strength, skill, and will in style-weaving combat. You choose the weapons, skills, and abilities you want to use and blend them seamlessly together.
Stay still, please.
I'm putting up a fight, but backup will keep on coming until I leave Silverbrook. Peacefully or not. I think a tactical retreat is probably for the best. Now I have a bounty on my head which will grow with more crime. I can immediately pay it or pay a reduced fine if I spend long enough out of town. My reputations don't disappear with my bounty though. Once I'm known as a killer and a criminal, it'll stick with me until I put in the work to change what people think. Or until I've made an expensive visit to the town crier. Because the people in Albion remember what you do.
Over the past 25 minutes or so, I've bought a pub and a house, been a landlord, and changed a beggar's life. I've customized my look, saved a magic talking pig, fought the law, and I've built a relationship with just one of Albion's 1,000 handcrafted, fully voiced NPCs. And here's the reputation cloud again. I'm rich and charming because of my spending habits and my relationships. I'm also a criminal and a killer due to my reckless behavior and fighting with the guards. Yet, I'm shrewd for saving Colin and an entrepreneur because I bought the Silver Trough. I've built a complex, rich identity in Silverbrook, which the people there will react to through their own moral view. I'm not simply good or evil. I'm so much more than that. There are many more settlements across Albion to explore. My identity is mine to create in each one, and everyone will have their own perspective on what I do as I build an extraordinary life. Thanks for
You just murdered 8 people. Go make 6 pitchforks and we'll forgive you.
watching, and stay tuned for more in-depth Fable information as we move closer to our launch.
Okay, so I'm going to mute it and rewind it in particular to the combat section because it does look better, okay? I will admit it looks better than the last time, Dev Direct. It's still the roughest part of the game, I would say. I think these systems are great. I love the internal decision making. I love the slow pace. If you want to take it slow and work and buy and interact and have property, okay? But the combat is still very rough. Number one, I'm just not seeing a very smooth frame rate, okay? It looks a little... Yeah, it just looks a little blurry. It looks a little blurry, okay? So, no hate, but it looks a little blurry. It also just continues to look very stiff. And again, I just don't know if this engine is giving them trouble. There's a stiffness and a rigidity to, like, everything he does. Combat's very Hogwarts Legacy. I thought the combat in Hogwarts Legacy was very fluid, and the trailers for Hogwarts changed my mind. So that, I don't know what this is. Is this so that they can do a cut into a new vertical slice? That is just such an awkward open to the combat, but we'll let it ride. I guess it's like a cinematic maybe for a good parry. Okay, so everybody's just kind of standing around. That's fine. This is to show the game off. So he launches those guys in the air. It's always the relocation of the character that drives me crazy in these Fable showcases. So watch the character and how he kind of relocates to get to the guy to the left. You know what I mean? I can't quite put my finger on what it is. It's like, I don't know. It's like it doesn't lock on and pivot properly. He like runs a little route to get over to him. The magic is a really, really good showcase. The spells look cool, lifting people in the air, throwing fireballs. I love this teleport that he does here. You got a ranged enemy, boom, and then he slams down. I like that. I like the abilities. The abilities look fine to me. It's the relocating and the hand-to-hand that still just looks very stiff. I don't quite get why they thought this was good either. He just stands there for a long time. Okay, it absorbs, and then he hits, and then he hits, and then he kills. The finishers look good to me. Again, it's just the way he kind of relocates and pivots is just, there's something awkward. I like the abilities a lot. That teleport and slam are great. I mean, look how he runs, too. Like, and listen, I'm not asking this game to be an action game. I'm not asking that. I know coming from games that are all about the action, it might be unreasonable to expect, like, the movement and everything to be better. So I will say, this looks better than the last time they showed it, and you know what I like? The camera doesn't cut. We get an entire combat sequence where the camera doesn't cut. It's just his relocation and his movement that I would like to see more fluid. So they have made improvements since the Dev Direct. I just hope they really continue to focus on that. His movement, his running, his relocation, it just feels a little bit stiff and a little bit rigid, and I'm hoping that that's something they can focus on. Like, even the way that NPC kind of relocates. Let me move my mouse. Like this NPC. So I want you to watch this NPC right here directly in front of him, not the one shooting. Just watch the way this NPC relocates. It's like, and then they just kind of stop. Everybody's like got a stick up their rear end. You know what I mean? There's just a very, very... there's just a stiffness to everything. So the fact that it's improved since the developer direct to now, I'm holding out hope that this aspect of the game can look significantly better when the game launches in February. It is June of 2026, so they have more than half of a year. They've got 8 months to get this looking better. They've already made it look better than the Dev Direct, and that was 4 months ago, okay? So in 4 months, they've made improvements. I'm hoping in 8 months they can make even more. A lot of this just comes down to the animation of the character. The animation sets, the movement, all of that. I just think the volition of the character, there's just, again, there's a stiffness. Also, we haven't even talked about performance. The entire showcase is very, very slow walk, slow turn the camera, don't move too fast. And when we get into this sequence and the camera starts moving fast, it definitely doesn't look that great. It's very, very blurry at times. And I'm hoping that they give a really good performance mode for console. I don't know if they're going to do PS5 Pro enhancements or anything like that. But here it can get a little, that looked better there too. This looks better than in the previous dev direct. Right here where he kind of is sidestepping and keeping his eye on the guy on the left. That actually looks quite a bit better than the repositioning that we saw in the dev direct. I am seeing signs of improvement, which I find to be encouraging, because that was my number one thing. But right there, when this camera swoops around, right there, that's extremely blurry. That is definitely not looking fantastic. That's very blurry when he spins that camera around. So again, hoping performance is on point in the launch version of the game, and hoping the animation sets and the movement and everything else look quite a bit better when the thing finally comes out. So this does look better. I think it's very, very much Fable, very RPG. The Reputation stuff they showed us today I thought looked good. I think the graphics, I think the character detail, clothing detail, all of that I think looks very, very good. They've got some polishing that they need to do. This looks to me like it's in a position of like, okay, they need to do some polish, but it doesn't feel like it's in bad shape. Does that make sense? This was a lengthy amount of gameplay with 0 cuts, and I really applaud them doing that. I really, really do. This is exactly what I was wanting to see today. I wanted to see a bunch of uncut open world gameplay, right? He turns, he runs, we're in an open field, we can see very far away. The waterfall doesn't look so great, but that's okay because it's far away. It might look better when you're closer. There were some sections with the water in the river looks good. Now the water looks better, so that's probably just a rendering distance thing. So if they're working on that render distance thing where like things far away don't look as good, I actually like that, and I'm actually okay with that, because I would prefer the game to run well. I don't need tons of detail super, super duper far away. So it seems like they listened to some of the feedback from the dev direct, right? It seems like they listened to some of the feedback from the dev direct. Like they showed lengthy uncut gameplay. They showed combat where they didn't keep cutting the camera. They showed all kinds of stuff in the town. They showed interactions with NPCs, people that like you, people that don't like you. You can romance, you can buy property, you can get jobs. Keep in mind, these are all things that people expect to have in a Fable, and they're also optional. A lot of the stuff he was doing today, you can completely ignore if you have no interest in it, and so I think that's fine. Can you guys do me a quick favor, though? If you're watching on YouTube, double check right now. Everyone look at that like button and make sure you've given this video a thumbs up. That definitely helps me out. I'm going to let this footage run for just a second. I need to take one quick break, though. Let me put the music back on. Sorry, I didn't mean to like have us sitting here in like silence, no background music. Actually, I'll just unmute it so you guys can watch
the
this
last
section.
thing left for Megan is to own a home. I'm a bit short on cash though, seeing as I paid a fortune to save Colin and bought a pub. But since I've bought it, I've been earning passive income, so let's swing by to collect it. The people of Silverbrook all have their own nuanced, subjective view of who I am and what they think of me. But if I don't like my reputations in Silverbrook, I can pay the town crier to change them. I give them gold, a lot of gold, and they spread a new reputation for me. If you're rich enough, you can change what people think of you. Here I am at the Silver Trough, now under new management. Let's head inside and check in on our employees. There's Susan, my star bartender from earlier.
Well, aren't you a do-gooder?
Hey, you. Working hard?
Just who I wanted to see. You.
Oh, she fancies me because she thinks I'm compassionate. Sorry, Susan. I only have eyes for Megan.
Keep at it.
You and me, boss. You and me.
Hey.
And there's Jack. Let's say hi.
How's it going? Just working. You know me.
I knew you'd work out, Jack. He is a hard-working commoner after all. Keep up the good work.
Farewell. See you, boss.
Things seem to be ticking over in here, so I'll head downstairs to the income chest to collect my profits.
Looking good.
There's an income chest in every business I own and every property I live in. It means I don't have to go to each individual place, and I can collect all my income from any of them. I've got a decent amount of gold now. Time to pick off the last thing on Megan's list. Owning my own property in Silverbrook. Let's go house hunting. I can buy literally any house in Albion. It would just take a while, and quite a bit of gold. But I like the look of this one. Nice garden, rural views, weird hairy pig statues out front. Let's have a look. Looks like I don't quite have enough money. That's a shame. But
Plumley's in chat says, I'm more worried about Wolverine, no gameplay, just QTE cutscenes. Game must be in bad shape. Well, I mean, if you're worried based on things that aren't true, then don't be worried anymore. Everything you just typed is false and untrue. It was mostly gameplay. So, yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be worried. I mean, if you're just interested in spreading falsehood about the game, go ahead, but that's not true. The showcase was lots of gameplay.
one thing I can do is pick up a shift at a job. There's a blacksmith just down the road. Hopefully I can go earn enough gold there. Going on dates, buying properties and businesses, and doing jobs are all part of the interconnected Fable experience. It really adds to the sense of immersion when I can take a break from saving the world to change the lives of the people around me and discover how the simulation reacts. I could play this part of the game forever, and I'd never run out of systemic toys to tinker with. There's a couple of jobs to take on across Albion, but today I fancy a try at blacksmithing. It's as simple as walking up to the anvil to start a shift. No prior experience required. In the interest of time, we've reduced the time limit here, but regardless, it's a classic case of risk versus reward. I'm constantly having to balance speed versus precision, while trying to earn as much as I can. I need to hit all the hotspots to complete an item, but if I manage a perfect hit, just like that, I earn a multiplier on my gold.
Yeah, like, if you guys are upset about some of the criticism that I'm voicing here, people in chat are criticizing, I was defending this Fable showcase pretty much all throughout when people were saying it was boring or too slow or what have you. I was defending it and saying, hey, this is actually what people expect from a game like this. But I'm also going to look at the combat and the movement, and I'm going to be honest. We've seen lots of gameplay showcases in the last 7 days, and if another game at this level of caliber and pedigree from a developer standpoint, right? We have a developer with lots of pedigree and lots of caliber. If they walked out with something that looked this rough, I would say it. We have seen so many games where they give us lots of uncut gameplay, whether it was Phantom Blade Zero like a couple of months ago, or God of War Lao Fei, or Wolverine. We saw lots of gameplay footage from a variety of games. Belmont's Curse, Gears of War E-Day, okay? And all of those gameplay showcases looked very good, very pristine. I praised all of those games. I had nothing but praise for Gears of War E-Day. I thought it looked fantastic. This, they've got a ways to go. This still looks very rough in certain instances, performance especially, and then player movement in combat still looks very rigid and stiff. And I think it's fine to say that. That's not hate. That's just, hey, there's marked improvement from the developer direct to now. Marked improvement. The combat looks better. The movement looks better. It still isn't where I would like to see it, because if that's going to be a significant portion of the game, that type of combat, don't tell me that that's not a significant portion of the game, because it is. If that's going to be a significant portion of the game, it needs to run and look better than what they've shown so far. That's just my opinion.
That's a successful shift completed. I can return to the blacksmith anytime to earn more gold and gain blacksmithing experience while building my reputation. I've now got just about enough gold for the house. Let's head back down the street and buy it. There are guards stationed in every settlement.
Legacy of Kain, their lack of experience is I think fair. It's like, okay, bring in some other teams then, right? Bring in some teams that are more familiar with action and combat and polish this up. id Software helped Starfield with their shooting. You could certainly bring some people in that are better at this sort of thing to polish up the combat.
They're always there to keep a watchful eye on the villagers, and probably 2 eyes on a hero. If I get caught committing crimes, I'll find myself in trouble with the law, and that will change what people think of me. We're back. Let's buy the house.
It's not an action game for fighting bosses. Go look at Fable 3. No, I would say go look at Fable's Dev Direct. You're incorrect. The fighting in this game is a significant portion, and they spend a lot of time talking about it. 1/3 of the developer direct is them focusing on combat. There's literal arena boss fights that they've already shown. You're not correct at all. Fable 3 has nothing to do with what they've decided to do with this game. Combat and fighting is a significant portion of this game. It is.
Now I'm the owner, I can hike up the rent or even make it free if I'm feeling charitable. I can manage my tenants too. I can let them stay and keep collecting the rental income, but I want to move in myself, which gives me the choice to just chuck them out on the street or be nice and give them a bit of gold to leave. And if I chuck them out, that would cause me to be known as heartless. And I'm trying to be nice right now in case I ruin things with Megan. And now I'm free to move in. Let's look around. Home sweet home.
I will say this, as it stands right now, what they showed today, as long as performance is solid, I think a lot of Fable fans will like this. I think a lot of people that enjoy these types of games will like this, even if the combat doesn't get any better or more fluid, even if they make it like less stiff. I still think most fans will be pretty pleased. But I will say those are the things I'm concerned about. Performance with respect to frame rate, and then the combat. Everything else looks like they've built a very, very good Fable, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a big Fable fan, so if you have strong opinions about the morality system and stuff, that's fine. But as it stands right now, what they showed today, I think, is good.
I can buy any house in Albion. And while this one lacks some square footage, there are huge houses, even mansions I can buy throughout the game. Looks like the tenants left some stuff behind. Awful fans, apparently. Wherever I live, I have access to my income chest and wardrobe, so I can collect all my gold and change my appearance whenever I like. That was the last thing on Megan's list. Let's head back to the general store. Fable has a dynamic time of day that changes what people are doing throughout their routine. It's still the afternoon, so hopefully Megan is still working. If I'm too late, she'll be back home in bed.
And there's my new pub with some customers in the beer garden.
I love
Now we're back at the general store. Let's find Megan.
Just the person I wanted to see.
Still interested?
I've ticked off all Megan's dating goals, so now my chances of romance are much improved. Let's ask her on a date again.
How about a date?
A date? Oh, I'm chuffed to bits.
She's chuffed to bits. Yeah, some of you guys are saying this looks slop or whatever. I see a lot of quality, and I see a lot of very good work. You know, does it need some polish? Yes. And does performance need to be better? Yes. But I labeling this as slop when we got a 30-minute uncut look at the game. I mean, there are so many games that are more deserving of that title, like a Mind's Eye or something. Like, this, I think, is actually showing very good signs of quality and life here. If you're not interested, if you think it's too slow, I don't think you understand what Fable sets out to do. Like, the ability to interact with townsfolk, romance, buy property, make people mad, you know, go and do jobs. Like, these are all things that people expected this game to have. If they did this showcase and it was 30 minutes of riding around the countryside, starting fights, and just doing combat, that would have been like, wait, where's all of the other logistical things that I can do within the game that influences, like, my morality and my wealth? That would be very weird for a Fable game to do that. So it showing these things off is on brand. It's totally on brand with the Fable game.
I can offer a gift to increase my chances of a date being a good one. As tempting as my new offal is, I'm going to give Megan flowers instead. I think she'll like them more. Here we are on a date at the Silver Trough. Hope I'm getting free drinks. Looks like it went well.
That was quite the date, hero. Loved it.
What's the name of this genre? Well, this would be like action sim RPG or RPG sim action. Like, it's got elements of sim, action, and RPG all together, so it's hard to classify it. Like, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 would be a more extreme version with far more like depth of like NPC interactions, dialogue systems, inventory systems, and like what you can do. But like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 would be an example of a game where like you could spend an entire play session in a town talking to people and doing jobs. Like, I'm not saying this game is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. What I'm saying is it's a very adjacent game where you would be doing similar content loops. You would be talking to the bartender, learning about what the guy next door wants, or, you know, spending money to stay at a hotel or an inn, or doing some jobs or crafting potions. Like, you could spend an entire play session in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 doing what this guy did, just walking around and talking to people and buying and spending money and doing jobs and trading. Like, those are things you do in that game. And then, yeah, you can go out into the countryside and you can quest and you can fight, just like in this game. And many people would say that like the combat's probably not the focal point of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 either, and the combat in that game is a little bit of a learning curve, right? It can be a little tough for people to get into, especially being first-person perspective. Fable, in a similar way, it's like you could spend an entire play session in a town doing these things. That's what people want, right? Kingdom Come Deliverance is way more heavy on the sim aspects. This is obviously a little bit lighter in that regard, but it's a similar idea. It's an adjacent content loop. It's like, yeah, I'm talking to the townsfolk. I'm doing jobs. I'm buying property. I'm interacting and doing dialogue. So I think people are maybe misunderstanding what this game was setting out to be. It was never going to be a game where it was all action. You can literally see within the hierarchy of their development, the action, the combat's not the focus, because it's probably the least polished portion of this showcase and the game, is the action and the combat.
Hey, you.
Oh, hero. That date was just brill.
Megan found me quite charming. I'd like to make things official, so I'll ask her to be in a relationship with me.
So what do you say? Ready for something more?
And what a lovely couple we'll make.
Whatever comes next, I'm with you.
It's official. That's not the end, though. I could build this relationship a lot more. We could get married, which comes with its own set of goals. We could move into my house and start a family. And I can even hire her for one of my businesses. Things could go the other way, too. I could break up with Megan, or divorce her in future. Or I might make choices that make her divorce me. There's lots of ways I could change her life, and she'll remember. But we've seen enough romance for now. Bye, Megan.
Thank you for 9 months, Kitty Cat, over there on Purple. Guys, we're about 48 members off of being on pace for the day. You want to end at 300. Getting to 500 unlocks that Saturday night stream with Madam. She'll continue her journey in Destiny 1. Thank you guys so much for being here.
I have to go, but you're welcome to watch me leave.
Jaggy says, my fear is these systems are going to be too simplistic, and then you have a borderline janky RPG that doesn't specialize in anything and is a mile wide but an inch deep. I think those are fair concerns, especially considering it doesn't seem like the morality system is transcendent. It's like per town. At least that's what they've indicated in some of the interviews. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Will it feel a little bit compartmentalized? Will it feel a little bit disjointed? I don't know. That is possible. You know, Fable fans have uttered some of their own, concerns or, criticisms of how they're approaching some of the morality aspects of it. It does seem like you can go into a town and create your own little economy of like how much money you're earning, what do people think of you, and then you can go somewhere else and have a completely different experience. How will all that tie together in the grand scheme of the game? I don't know. They've not really gone into that.
A lovely time, sweetheart.
Before we go, I've only really demonstrated what it's like being an upstanding citizen in Silverbrook. Our game is one full of contrast, though.
Modest. Yeah, I like it.
Where I decide the kind of hero I want to be. So let's briefly explore what it's like if I'm not so nice. Hi, Susan.
Nose to the grindstone. Love to see it.
Lovely to see you, boss.
Sorry, Susan. You're fired.
Yeah. You're fired. Sorry.
You're gonna regret that, swine.
She's not happy about that, and she thinks I'm being heartless. But because in Fable morality is subjective and varies from person to person, not everybody will have a problem with that. There might even be someone who fancies me because I'm heartless. Villagers also react to my physical actions. If I start firing arrows around the place, they'll start to perceive me as reckless. I can even take pot shots at the locals if I want. And now I've gone too far, but I'm in the mood for a fight. In Fable, you can express yourself with your own combat style, combining strength, skill, and will in style-weaving combat. You choose the weapons, skills, and abilities you want to use and blend them seamlessly together.
Stay still, please.
I'm putting up a fight, but backup will keep on coming until I leave Silverbrook. Peacefully or not. I think a tactical retreat is probably for the best.
Yeah, so again, I think the combat looks improved from the last time. I still just think the stiffness and the rigidity in combat as well as performance, those are my two primary concerns. I think everything else looks great. Like if it runs well and they can make that combat feel a little bit better, I actually think this looks great. That's my personal take. Hidden Siri was saying they keep alluding to consequences. What are the consequences outside of words popping up at the potential crime wanted system? That's not particularly complex. Well, no, they talked about how his behavior with his wealth and how he was flaunting his wealth to a certain degree made the one NPC literally charge him more money. She didn't like him because of the way he was acting with his wealth. There was also somebody who respected him because she thought he was shrewd. So he literally couldn't date the girl until he went and dressed fancy and bought a house, and then she was willing to date him. I don't see how you don't see those as consequences. Like, he actually did things in the game in direct relation to like what the woman that he wanted to romance wanted, and then he was able to romance her, go on a date, and then now they're in a relationship. And then they say we can take the relationship further, but they're not going to show that. Like, they stop short there, but like everything he did up to that point was in order to take her on a date, which that date then leads to the potential of a relationship, which then leads to the potential of a marriage. None of that would have happened if he wouldn't have gone and spent his money on fancy clothes, did jobs, and bought a house. So like those were all consequences of his actions. Like I feel like you watched a very different showcase than me if you don't see that. I mean, that feels like a lot of cause and effect and consequences happening from the things that he's doing. And yes, he goes extreme and just starts killing people in the town and racks up a huge bounty, but like they're showing you how each individual system touches another system. He's giving money to people and flaunting his wealth, and then an NPC doesn't like him and charges him more money, while he's spending that money to buy fancy clothes because he's trying to date the barkeep. And then she doesn't just want him to have fancy clothes, she wants him to own property. So now he's got to go do jobs. He goes and does the jobs, he buys a house, now he can go on a date with her. That's a cascade of things that wouldn't have happened if he didn't go and flirt with the barkeep. Just flirting with the barkeep led to all those things. Like, I don't know. They're superficial consequences? How are those superficial consequences? It's an RPG where he now has more money, a house, and a girlfriend. In an RPG, how are those superficial? Like, yes, somebody not liking you and remarking about, like, show off when you walk by in town, that's a little bit superficial, but that's more of an immersive touch point of the actions that you're taking in the world, which I think is a good part of how you feel immersed in an RPG, where the people in the town react to the things that you're doing. Like, they might make a snide remark or they might praise you, right? I don't know. Those are all things, I don't know how you call those superficial. I don't know. Those don't feel superficial to me. I don't know. Either the game's not for you, or there's something else that's triggering you to be overcritical. I'm not saying that like your criticisms are like in bad faith or something. I just feel like you're being overly critical. It's like those are all not superficial. Like homie at the end of this 28-minute showcase, homie flirted, worked a job, bought clothes, bought a house, went on a date, has a girlfriend. All of those things happened from one moment of like he went in to the shop and flirted with the girl. Like that's a cascade of, you know, like butterfly effect things that never would have happened if he hadn't flirted with her. If he had flirted with somebody else, he would have had to take a very different approach to wooing her. You know, maybe he would have had to go do great feats of strength and like fight a bear or something. I don't know. I thought that was great. My only concern is performance seems a little rough and the combat seems a little stiff. If those two things can get polished by the time the thing comes out, which it's been 4 months since the Dev Direct, and I'm noticing pretty significant improvements, I would hope that if they can make improvements in 4 months, 8 months to release, they'll make other improvements as well. So, shop owner, not barkeep. Sorry, she was a shop owner, not the barkeep. Sorry, I got confused. But the point is he flirted with an NPC and it created a cascade of things that he did not have to do if he didn't want to. We don't know that, though, to be fair. What do you mean we don't know that, to be fair? What are you talking about? They literally gave us a textbook, like a showcase of if you flirt with somebody, there's going to be things that become clear you're going to need to do if you want them to agree to romance. That's like Mass Effect did the same thing. Mass Effect made it clear what somebody liked, disliked, or wanted, and if you made decisions and you chose things within the dialogue tree, you could romance people in Mass Effect. Now, I'm not saying this game is Mass Effect. I'm saying I've played games like this before. Like, he flirted with the girl, she indicated the things that she liked, or the game told you the things that she liked, and then he went and did all those things, so she agreed to go on to a date. If he would have tried flirting with the girl that didn't like him, likely there would have been different outcomes, and he would have had to do different things. It's fine to be like, this game's not for me, but don't act like there weren't a bunch of consequences to his actions in the 28-minute thing that we watched. There was a lot of consequences. You know, Halo Combat Evolved is fully playable in third person. I kind of want to watch this, but I don't know if we should do like a second stream or what. They released a 10-minute gameplay piece of footage. I might react to this in a separate video because it looks like it's pretty good. It's crazy that they're going to let you play the entire game in third person. It really hits different in third person. I'm going to be real with y'all. I might actually play that game in third person. It looks kind of sick. I'm just saying overall it's not enough. Why just one area and a few NPCs in 30 minutes? It's oddly limited. I come at it from a completely different perspective than you. That's exactly what I wanted to see. I literally said, after the Dev Direct, I literally said to do that. I said, show us a lengthy section of uncut gameplay. Go to a town, interact with a bunch of NPCs, and then show me some combat that's not been cut up. And that's literally what they did. Wait, hang on. There you go. That's literally what they did. Like, they did the thing that I said they should do. I was like, show us, just go to a town and just do all the things you can do in a town. I did not want another sliced up, highly edited trailer from them. That wouldn't have done anything for me. I said after the Dev Direct, I want to see what a gameplay session could look like. That's what they showcased today. If it doesn't compel you and you don't like it, so be it. But I think that was the right call. I think they did the right thing. That's not a game where you need some hype, highly edited trailer. It's a game that is a slow burn. You're not going to play that game and in 20 minutes be like, fighting and jumping off of high rises and rolling on the ground and lighting buildings on fire. You're going to be slowly walking around a town, talking to people, buying property, flirting, that's just the kind of game that it is. Why is Halo third person? They're just saying it's fully playable in third person if you'd like. I think it kind of hits different, but I kind of like it. I don't know. The guns did look really cool in the one trailer, though. They put out some more details. Yeah, this is supposed to be all about Fable, so I don't want to spend a bunch of time on Halo. They put out an article here, How We Built the Living Population. The living population sits at the heart of Fable. It's our way of referring to the 1,000 plus NPCs who bring Albion to life. Each one has a personality and a life that moves along, whether you're there to see it or not. Your hero can interact with every single one of them, making friends, enemies, employees, spouses, or corpses. Xbox Game Showcase, okay, where it all began. This all began by thinking deeply about what we loved about the original Fable games. Something that stood out to us was how much fun interacting with Albion's population was, and we knew from the start that we needed a system that would make Fable feel truly alive. That's what they were trying to showcase today. Like, everything is interconnected. From the beggar that ends up working at your shop or your bar, to the girl you flirt with pushing you towards buying a house, it's all interconnected. Like, I thought they did a good job with that. Like, it's literally a living world, and you can just do whatever you want. You can ignore everybody, kill everybody, fight everybody, love everybody. Like, it doesn't, like, and they showed you how that would play out. As a fan of the Fable games, I'm just not seeing the vision. I've never insulted anyone for liking it, but the whole thing just feels unfinished and odd. I will say they haven't shown us what a zoomed out experience looks like, Hidden Siryu. I readily admit that. Having a macroeconomic experience in one town does not represent... I'm sorry, I said that incorrectly. Having a microeconomic experience in a town versus seeing sort of the macroeconomic effects of your character in the entire game. Like, what happens after 5 towns of you being an absolute tyrant jerk? Like, what does that do to the game? What does that do to your experience? The Halo channel uploaded a 28-minute gameplay demo. I don't know if I want to do a secondary stream for that. I don't know. I feel like the Fable thing was more anticipated than Halo. I feel like that might kind of fall flat if we were to do that. That wasn't something that people were all sitting around waiting for, and it's a game that we've seen for, a long, long time. It's not like a new game. I think it looks great. I will say it looks great. We didn't want our NPCs to be window dressing, existing only to give the feeling of a bustling space. We wanted ours to be individuals, people that you can interact with. Maybe you find one that takes your fancy and build a relationship with them, or maybe you want to really tick them off or even kill them. Making characters that you want to interact with however you interact with them, that was the starting point, and it snowballed from there. We started having conversations about things like NPC schedules and time of day, If you've got realistic people, they need to behave realistically, and that means they probably need somewhere to live and bed and sleep in. Yeah, they reference this in the thing that we watched. They reference the thing in the thing that we watched. They said, we need to hurry up or she's going to be home and in bed because her shift's going to end. That's literally referring to how the world is alive. Like, if he wants to get her on a date, he's going to have to get back to her place of employment before she goes home. That would have completely changed the flow of things. Like, if he would have gotten distracted and went off like and hunted some wolves or something and then came back to town and it was nighttime, he wouldn't have been able to talk to her. It means they need to have things to do during the day, like jobs and hobbies. If they have jobs, where do they work? And if they don't have jobs, can they afford to do things like going to the pub? We very quickly had a massive list of all the things that we wanted to achieve. Handcrafting the living population. We originally thought that we could create a procedural tool to generate all the NPCs we needed for the world, because creating them by hand would have been an enormous amount of work. But it quickly became obvious that in order to make our NPCs feel believable, procedural generation wouldn't work. I actually think this is a really, really encouraging thing. I think procedurally generated NPCs would have been a little irritating. The NPCs the tool generated felt random and incoherent, and so often happens, we realized we wanted to control every detail of every NPC in our game. So we made the slightly crazy decision to design each and every NPC by hand. In a visual sense, all of our characters are built from modular pieces. We have hundreds of these, and our artists can then pick from the vast wardrobe of asset pieces with variations based on the NPCs and where they live in the world and the type of person that they are, noble, commoner, or a ruffian. Then we have their voices. All of our NPCs are fully voiced. We cast around 100 actors to voice our living population alone. But the truly manual work comes into building their personalities. Every NPC has a trait, a description for their personality shown to the player. They have a place to live, a job, a schedule, and more. Well, they might not have a job, but I think they have a job status is what they mean. Not everybody has a job. All of this work was done by the game design team, who wanted to have that level of control to make sure that we could create believable characters. For example, you may have a snooty noble person that lives in a manor house and looks a certain way. When you look at an NPC, all these different pieces combined should tell you a story that you should be able to pick up on quite quickly to let you get a feel for them. I actually think they're charting into good territory here. Like, this is certainly an area where lots of games are going to try to do the living world RPG thing, and they're saying we did it all by hand, and we created a system, a modular system where, you know, their appearance might be like pulling from that modular system, but the NPCs themselves have personalities that are tied then to their traits and their standing in the world. One of the things that helped me realize we were on the right track was when other developers would come up to me and say something like, "What happened to Helen? She looks completely different and she moved home." As soon as that happened, I realized, okay, people are starting to get attached to the NPCs even while they were just testing them. They were already building those relationships with them and they didn't even know it. I think that was when I realized that all the work we were doing was having the right effect. Going in, I don't think we knew how hard it was going to be to get this right. There's been real blood, sweat, and tears to get us here, but I'm glad we took this route. I think what we've ended up with is something that feels like an interactive People toy box. The People toy box. Excuse me. Playing with that toy box is where all things come to life, of course. When you first see an NPC in the world, the game will show you their name, their role in the world, and their trait. That short identifier for the kind of personality they have, which informs a lot about them. Excuse me. Give me a second. Sorry. So it might be something like Bob the bartender, a kind-hearted commoner. And from that, you can already infer the type of person that they are and how they might react to you and the reputations that you have earned. That will affect their opinion of you. They can like or dislike you. They can fear you. They can even fancy you. That in turn will inform how you interact with them. See, I like this because what this does is it gives you a template to interact with so that you can be informed without having to do like extensive research. Like, I don't have to spend 20 minutes in a conversation with them to figure out like, oh, he's a kind-hearted commoner. Like, you kind of get me to that point at the start, so then I'm allowed to sort of make some presumptions about how they might interact with me. When you speak to an NPC, We bring up the social panel on the side of the screen, which tells you more information about them. It will show you why they feel that way about you, usually based on your reputations in their settlement. And because you can have up to 6 reputations active in any settlement at any one time, these can interact with each other. See, again, and this is where some of Siryu's criticism I think is fair, this does seem like a microeconomy of reputation per settlement, not something that is game-wide, right? And so I do wonder, is that going to be a point of criticism with people? Like, are they going to feel like that's shallow? Are they going to feel like that's not as good as having the entire game sort of having a reputation? It might have been too much to ask given how big the game is. Our NPCs are complicated individuals, so it might be the combination of your reputations that result in them liking or disliking you. For example, someone who thinks I'm silly for being a chicken chaser might change their tune when I become a rich entrepreneur. You can become part of their lives in other ways too. You could buy their house and become their landlord, or buy a shop and become their employer. You could do both of those and control their wages and their rent, but this cuts both ways. Someone might refuse to work for me because they don't like my actions or reputation, and if nobody wants to work for me, then the shop never opens and I don't get any income. Or if I don't pay them enough to afford their rent, they'll have to move out of their home and I won't have any tenants. See what I'm saying? Like when I said that there's a cascade of changes and things that happen in the game, you know what I mean? If you're a jerk and a tyrant and nobody in town likes you, you might not be a successful entrepreneur. Like, that road is going to be closed to you because nobody's going to want to come work for you, which means then your business isn't making any money. So consequences to your actions can be far-reaching, and I really like that. I think that's cool. It's like, hey, you were a bit of a jerk and you were, being a tyrant and picking on people, and now nobody wants to come work for you, so your business is not successful. Beyond this, we also have a system that effectively is an NPC memory. For example, if you give someone a job, that might change how they feel about you. If I give a beggar a large sum of money, they will remember that I've made them wealthier and effectively changed their life as a result. And if I happen to kill their spouse, well, they're probably going to hold a grudge against me for that too. And because of all these things and variables that player can change, an NPC can change as a result, and that's ongoing. You could theoretically tinker with your own living population for forever. It's all about creating a truly reactive system. We want to reward players for playing around with it in whatever way they choose. You can give a gift to an NPC purely to see how they'll react, and that could be through a funny voice line or earning some points to a reputation that you didn't expect. And sometimes it's just because as a player you think, I want to see what happens. What if I give this basket of rotting fruit to a snobby noble? You'll get a reaction. Love and death. There are 2 related questions we have going since we announced the living population. Can you romance every NPC in the game, and can you kill every NPC in the game? So I thought I could answer both. Yes, you can have a romantic relationship with every adult NPC in the game. You can date them, you can marry them, have children, live with them. So that answers to the first question is yes, but not necessarily all at the same time. Yeah, you might not be able to have like 9 wives in the same town, right? Because our NPCs have a disposition towards the player based on the actions that they've taken or the reputations that they've earned, some NPCs may hate you for the same reasons that another will fancy you. And of course, you inevitably break some households in order to begin a relationship or move in with someone, which will then affect how the other people involved feel about you. These are not unrecoverable situations. It's obviously easier to start a relationship with an NPC that fancies you, but if you like to start a relationship with an NPC that absolutely hates you, there are various actions you can take to change their opinion. As is the case that I said a little bit ago, like I think there's a lot in the game that's action and reaction, and I think that's good. You could try to romance the shopkeep that hates you, but it might take more work. As for the second question, all adult NPCs can be killed, and if you kill an NPC, they are gone. They are removed from the world. Really? Interesting. So they're definitely not going to, obviously they're not going to let you romance children. That would be disgusting. But they're not going to let you kill children either. So it's not like you can go into town and then just go on a wanton murder spree. Like you can kill all the adult NPCs. The interesting thing about that is you can kill an adult NPC and they are gone from the game. So that beggar, you could just walk up and kill him and he's gone. That's interesting. You can, if you so wish, kill every person in a settlement and it'll stay empty for some time. But we do have a system in place that will gradually repopulate settlements over time. I wonder where those people come from. Right? I wonder where those people come from. So, like, if you kill an entire settlement, who repopulates it? Like, are there basically, like, NPCs on deck that never see the light of day if you don't kill anybody? Yo, Risik with a gifted member gets us to 253, trying to get us on pace for the week. You guys want to end the day at 300 to be on pace for the Saturday night stream. And a £5 super chat from OD91. Lono, brother, help Hidden Siriu and Solemn solve this and come together. I mean, I'm not interested in solving anything. If they want to have a debate, have a debate. Too Thirsty, I missed your $10 super chat. I am sorry about this, Too Thirsty. You did this a while ago. Lono, you could easily do a show on Destiny 2 and how everything I told them to implement in the game 5 years ago is finally here. I'm not really interested in covering that game anymore, brother. If they're gonna keep me permanently and unjustly banned, I mean, then frick their game, bro. Like, I showed their game support yesterday and their franchise support yesterday, but if we can't get moving on the ban, homie, I'm not covering the dadgum game. This is something that we've discussed a lot. How destructive do we want to let the player be? One school of thought was if the player's done it, then they should live with the consequences. But if your consequences mean that a settlement is essentially locked to you as a result, that's cool and interesting to start with, but at some point it probably becomes annoying. So we found a balance between consequences feeling permanent while also not letting the player get into a state where they can't recover their game without restarting. This also ties into another system that we have, settlement traits. When you ride into a settlement and you look at it on the map, it has the name of the location. So Silverbrook, for example, it'll show you the current reputations you have active in that settlement. There will also be a sentence to describe the settlement. Your interactions in that settlement, in this case, killing a bunch of NPCs, will result in that settlement being described as an underpopulated farming town. Speaking of reflecting those actions back, the living population ties into the wider game in other ways. One major way is through your quests. I alluded to it with settlement traits, but your choices in quests can impact the settlement quite dramatically. We've talked before about how your choice to spare or kill Dave the Giant can not only change the world itself, but affect the people living in Silverbrook. Leaving a massive corpse on the horizon actually works as a temporary tourist hotspot, affecting the lives of the people living there. It'll also have an impact on the housing prices, maybe because of the tourists or because of the giant corpse sprawled across the landscape, which you have to imagine will smell pretty bad after a while. It'll also change the settlement trait, so the sentence can change to say something to the lines of famous for its giant corpse, but the living population can also affect your game in return. For example, if you marry multiple NPCs in a settlement, you might get blackmailed by someone who knows your secret. Depending on the choices that you make in this encounter, this can have a dramatic effect on your relationship with one or both of your partners. The point of difference for most games is that choices you make through even these little encounters will earn you reputation points, which will then feed back into the wider system. So even seemingly innocuous side interactions that you have with an NPC can then impact other systems and cause ripple effects across the wider game. This again is something I was getting at. You flirting with one shopkeep created a cascade of things that took place in the game that wouldn't have taken place otherwise. And they're saying here that you might have like an innocuous side interaction with somebody, and it's going to impact systems that causes a ripple effect across the wider game. It would be interesting to see, though, what do you mean by wider game? Like, if I do something in a particular town, will it have an impact in the larger game story and narrative, or just in that town? Friends, foes, and everything in between. I think we are in a lucky position making this game, in that we've always said that this is Playground's Fable. We're not making a sequel to Lionhead's games, but we also knew that there are elements within those that are key to making Fable Fable. Having a reactive NPC population is definitely one of them, and building the living population gave us the opportunity to look at the things that those games did and see how we could make them take them further. That's very apparent in our morality system and the way Albion's inhabitants perceive your actions through their own lens. What does that mean, and what does that feel like as a player? If I'm interacting with different characters and somebody doesn't like me, what do I have to do to change that? How does that change how I play the game? This is how you'll build an extraordinary life in Fable. It's all about shades of gray. It's not about the game telling you what is good and what is bad. With the living population, it's the NPCs themselves judging your actions. I, again, am just very, very curious about how they decide to handle the game at large. That, I think, is a fair question. Like, I think it's a fair question. Like, if I go into all these towns and one town thinks I'm a brutal tyrant who kills everybody and the other thinks I'm super charitable and nice and I give them money, I don't know. To me, that might feel a little compartmentalized, and it might kind of break the idea of what people want. You know what I mean? It almost might make the game feel bipolar, like every town sees you completely differently. Instead of having like a global reputation, like a global view. Senua has been asked, do you have to play the previous Hellblade games to enjoy Senua? And they say no. Senua tells a complete standalone story that has been designed as a strong entry point for new players. If you play the previous Hellblade games, you'll recognize Senua, some familiar themes and returning characters, but no prior experience is required to understand the story or to enjoy the gameplay in Senua. Senua. Okay. Just looking at the news feed here to see if there's anything else going on. Your global reputation would be your title given to the crier, I think. But will that affect me in other instances? You know what I mean? Like, will I go into a new town that I've never been there before, and are they going to be like, oh, I know you, I've heard about you. Is that even possible? Like, I'll be curious to see if that happens. They haven't spoken to that yet. They have not spoken to that. So, my backlog grew by 3 games because of Kingdom Hearts 4. Yeah, dude. The Burnt Peanut is now live in Fortnite despite backlash and promo art absence. My kids can't wait. They love the Burnt Peanut. I let them see, like, clips of him where he's not swearing, that's actually kind of hard to find. But they think he's great. They can't wait to get him in the game. My daughter literally says, "Got it, boss." Like, she literally says that to me now. Townspeople remember what you did on Fable 1. No. I don't think I'm making my point clear. If I go from town A to town B, does town A loving and hating me have any effect on town B at all? Right? Like, the way they've described it in interviews, I don't think so. I don't think so. The way they describe it in interviews, every town has its own reputation with you, and they're not connected. You can have one town hate you and another town love you for completely different reasons. They don't seem to impact each other. I don't think you have a global reputation in Fable. That's okay, but there are Fable fans that don't like that. So, guys, if you haven't done so yet, could you all very quickly hit the like button? Get us to 500 likes. That'd be a great milestone for today. Thank you so much for just all the interaction and all the opinions. It was great to see such a lengthy look at Fable, and I appreciate you guys being here. A lot of you guys hit subscribe today. If you've never done a membership before on YouTube, that is how I do this full time. It's $5 a month. So consider clicking join, or you can type !join in the chat and you can become a member. When you do that, you get a badge and emotes, and you get access to our members only Discord. We are trying to get to 600 paying members. We currently have 550, and you can help us with that goal. Every little bit helps and adds up. And if you're here every day, week after week, that's a really great way to just keep this thing going. That is how I do this full time. So thank you. I've never seen your channel before today, but I like the stream. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. I'm highly interactive. We cover variety gaming news Monday through Friday, and I do keep it safe for work. I'm not sitting here cursing and swearing on the broadcast. A lot of people put me on in the background of their day, like a radio show or a podcast. If that sounds great to you, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. If you really want to be, involved in what we do here, then the membership is the best way to do that, because you will get access to the members only Discord, where we do green room at the end of every day, and that is an insight into what we're doing with the show and the videos coming up. It's a behind the scenes look at what I do here. Is the armor and stuff tied to the legendary edition of the game is my question. Sorry I didn't get a full to get it all out. I don't actually know. Didn't they mention in the video when showing the map that there's a circle that your reputation holds, so nearby towns will be influenced by your actions? Right, but I guess it's so if you travel far enough, then it won't. Right? That's the question. Like, if it's about becoming renowned and becoming a Fable, then why wouldn't? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't a town really far away know about what I did in town A? When I get all the way to town F, they don't know anything that I've done in that other town. Like, if my I don't know. I feel like reputation should spread. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, there's a Ubisoft layoff going on. Guys, we need 30 more likes to get to 500 likes. Make sure you have hit that like button. Make sure you hit it. It does help me out quite a bit. That's what I was saying. It depends on how close the towns are together. Isn't the whole point of Fable is that your renown grows as you play? Like that, my memory could be wrong here, but I thought that was kind of part of the game, is that like your renown and your reputation grow. Like more and more people know who you are. Your standing in the world grows throughout the game. Does that make sense? So like, yeah, if I steal an apple in town A, I don't expect town F to know, yeah, you stole that apple. But if I'm known as a tyrant in town A, shrewd and greedy, I feel like the more I do and the more I grow and the more known I become, people are like, I heard about you. Regardless of the town. I'm not saying that as a criticism. I'm just saying I feel like that's a reasonable expectation. Be like, fans of the game might think certain actions and impacts should have far-reaching consequences. Like, you might be all the way at town F, but we heard about what you did to town A, People are supposed to hear about you based on what you've done or accomplished. Like, I wonder, are there bigger things you can do? Like, if you make one town flourish and everybody's making good money and very happy, I feel like that should spread. That should spread to other towns, not just the town, not just the neighboring town. That's your rep. They have described your reputation being like a per town thing, though. You murder 20 people and the world doesn't know who you are. That's kind of my point. Have you seen the extended gameplay of Resonance: A Plague Tale? I think they need to delay the game. The animations don't look good at all. When did they release that? I thought it looked fine during the showcase. Did they release new stuff? I'm looking. It's not on my homepage. The towns are not connected then. Yeah, I don't think they're all connected. I think it's just like a neighboring town might hear about what you did. They haven't really indicated. Residents of Plague Tale new gameplay preview. Okay. Residents Plague Tale new gameplay preview from 41 minutes ago on IGN. And you're saying that the animations look stiff? Where do the animations look stiff in particular? In combat? What's the big thing with D3? Destiny 3? The Destiny community wants Bungie to make Destiny 3. They wanted them to make Destiny 3 after the final shape. You think it looks rough in combat. Okay. I'm so tired of the micro stutters. I'm so tired of the micro stutters. I don't know if that's Chrome. I don't know if it's YouTube. Brother, I don't know what you're talking about. This looks fine. This looks like an action-focused game. Did you see something in particular that bothered you? That entire exchange looked great to me. I mean, again, that's just my opinion, but I thought that looked fine. I'm really quick to pick up on, like, rigidity and stiffness or problems. I didn't see anything. Never had that issue on my iPad? No, yeah, micro stutters are specific to Windows. It's super irritating. Windows 11 is just hot, steaming trash with respect to micro stutters. Everything I watch, there's always micro stutters. I hate it. No, it's not hardware acceleration. I've tried multiple browsers. It does it in Edge. It does it in Chrome. It does it in Firefox. It's a Windows 11 thing. Video playback can just have micro stutters. It looks a little jumpy. Jumpy arcadey. Oh, that doesn't bother me. I thought you made it sound like they need to delay it looked bad. It sounds like it's a stylization problem that you have, maybe. I'm baffled by the myopic reception of Fable's Living World when a similar, albeit simpler system was praised in New Vegas. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't look like it's like on the level of like a Yote or like a God of War or something that I think have immaculate combat systems, or like Onimusha or Neo 3. But this looks really good for what they're setting out to do. I think this looks fine. That barrage is annoying. I mean, how many times can he swing that stupid thing? Like, yeah, 3 is fine. He swung it like 8 times at one time. Yeah, this looks fine to me. Looks like AC Shadows. Yeah, everything I've seen is very like Assassin's Creed adjacent. I think it's fine. I'm not seeing anything that's concerning here. It doesn't look good. Yeah, I mean, probably not going to change your mind then. I think it looks fine to me. This doesn't look like anything beyond what I expected. This is what I expected the game to kind of look and play like. You know, this is not Yote. This is not Onimusha or Neo 3. Like, it's sort of a blend between like narrative, world-driven, and action as well. It's kind of a blend of both. So like action's going to be fine. It's not going to blow you away. Like, you're not buying this game for its elaborate action system. There's more to it than that. There's puzzles like this that you have to solve. there's a world that you're exploring and investigating, and then there's NPC, there's a story and relationships and stuff that'll continue to, to grow as you play through the game. Looks great. Is this day one on Game Pass? I have no idea. I think Shadows plays more natural. Well, I mean, I would hope AC Shadows plays a little bit more natural and fluid than this. I mean, that was more of a center stage of what AC Shadows was about. It's a game about a dadgum ninja and a samurai. This is a game about a woman like surviving in like basically a post-apocalyptic world, like the apocalypse being some infestation within the rats themselves, like a plague. It's post-plague-alyptic. Also, it looks like you get armor and you get into like more serious fights as well. Yeah, this looks fine to me. The animation sets are crisp. The telegraphs are clear. The impact looks good. Player feedback looks good. Yeah, I'm fine with this. I'm not at all concerned about what I'm seeing here. I don't see something that's like delay worthy. I think this is fine. It looks like you can basically do deflections or blocks on everything, and then you can get like an actual big parry on yellow, and then obviously red you have to dodge. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the first to point out if combat looks stiff or rigid. You guys know, like, I've played a lot of these types of games, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, oh yeah, Fable's, got some work to do. Like, compare this game's combat to what we watched in Fable, and this is significantly more fluid. Guys, if you like hanging out today and you had a good time, do me a favor and smash that like button. We're super close to 500 likes. You're crushing it. What is this game? Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy. So it is a branching story from the Plague Tale stories. Plague Tale and then Plague Tale Requiem are fantastic games if you haven't played them. This is a character from the second game, and you get to play as her, and it's more action focused than the other two Plague Tale games. Lono is definitely a combat snob. No, I wear that proudly. I am a combat snob. Yes. With my love of Sekiro and like Tsushima and Yote and how much I loved Onimusha, dude, I am 100% a combat snob. If I play a game and I tell you that like the iframes are generous and the combat feels good and tight and the telegraphs are good, you can take that to the dadgum bank. Like, I am I'm probably very not overly critical, but I'm more quick to be critical of combat that doesn't feel good or flow good. Like, I loved First Berserker Kazan. I'll take that. I'll take that moniker. Combat snob. Take it. Can we look at the Halo Combat Evolved and provide some analysis and opinion to chat? I've been going for almost 4 hours. I might want to spare that and save that for something separate, maybe like an upload. We'll see. Fable was the focal point today, and we had a great turnout and a really, really great result from it. But I don't want to just randomly pull up like a really, really lengthy Halo thing and potentially cannibalize other coverage. It gets a little weird on YouTube, and we may not do anything with the Halo stuff or we may do it. I don't know. We'll see. You play Ninja Gaiden 4? I didn't like Ninja Gaiden because I'm too old and slow. I couldn't keep up. Yeah. Well, would be people calling you hero in a small town? I think at that point they were far enough in the Fable story that you had saved them from something. The Giant, I think. I think they were calling you hero because you had basically done something to help the town. That's why everybody was calling you that, I think. Just rewatching because I just came home, and that line of morality is subjective and one person's good is another's evil makes no sense. There's objective good and evil. Well, what you're saying is not a refutation of what they're saying. You literally can't even have a discussion about morality if you don't admit that it's an overarching metaphysical thing that exists. There's no way to even have the discussion about morality if you don't admit morality exists. What they're saying is that some people might see what you're doing as good or bad depending on their own moral compass. There's a history of tribes and persons and even religions that prize, betrayal and cunning. And then there are others that prize compassion and forgiveness. Now, each of those viewpoints are going to look at the actions of somebody very differently, right? Like the moral compass of like a first century Rome would be all about power. Might makes right, right? Power was what determined all to them. So they would see compassion and forgiveness as weak and stupid, right? So there's all sorts of different views within moral frameworks, right? Pragmatism, might makes right, good of the group, things like that. The ends justify the means, blah, blah, blah. But so when you say like moral is subjective to each individual person, even within that framework, you're admitting that morality exists. The only way you can judge a system within a game like that is from the outside. You have to have a high vantage point view of morality to even have this discussion. So like, for example, when you play through Ghosts of Tsushima and there's two different views of honor. There is the view of honor that Jin's uncle has, which is duty-bound, don't do anything, don't kill in a dishonorable way. Jin thinks that honor is determined by defending those who cannot defend themselves. So they have completely different views of honor, okay? The only way you can judge their viewpoints is by having a higher view to look down upon and to adjudicate. Like, so you're admitting, judging their view of honor, that there is some higher form of morality at some level in order to then judge those actions, right? So you can't even have a discussion about, well, they have a view and they have a view. They have subjective views. Who's right? Well, you can't even adjudicate on that until you admit that there is some higher form of morality. There must be an ultimate. There must be within the hierarchy of morality one that is in the judging position. Like that, it's unavoidable. It's a presumption of the word and the existence of it itself. It's a presupposition of morality. Like you're literally presuming that it exists just by talking about it. You can't talk about it without presuming its existence. I don't know. It's like oxygen in your lungs. Like it's just there. It must exist in order for you to speak. And morality must exist as some sort of metaphysical reality in order for us to even have these conversations. So I think it's fine if a video game decides to say everybody has a different view and they're going to view your actions through their lens. That I think is totally fine. I don't think they're putting forward the idea of relativism. I mean, they could. That's fine. It's one of the most folly-ridden viewpoints of reality in existence, debunked 10 times over. So, that if they want to put that in a video game, I'm not too concerned about that. So, I am going to call it there. You guys that want to continue with us, Green Room is a great opportunity to continue to have conversations and plan out the content, but you can't come with us. You can't come with us if you're not a member. So consider becoming a member right now. Hit join, it's $5, and then you can come into our Discord, and I continue to stream and talk in there. But you can't watch it here, and you can't watch it on Twitch. All right? So use the Discord command in chat or the Discord description in the information below, and you can come with us. All right? Thanks for a great day. Thanks for the new subs. Thanks for the members. Thanks for the likes. We need 15 more likes, so be sure to hit like on the way out. Y'all are the best, and I appreciate all the ongoing support of the channel. It's been a great showcase season, and we can keep talking in the Discord. All right? Thanks.